Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it!
What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Shut the fuck up!
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome, on this January 31st, 2023. Already, this show starts now.
Football!
February is tomorrow.
Yep. Holy shit.
The Super Bowl is a little over a week away, obviously a lot over a week away, and we know that the Pro Bowl is happening this weekend. We know that the Super Bowl is taking place next weekend. We know that it might be the Philadelphia Eagles. It might be the Kansas City Chiefs, and we know that a large portion of the internet thinks that everything has been rigged through the NFL. We will talk about that and all the other stories happening around the NFL today on this glorious Aaron Rodgers Tuesday. Now, this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday does have to be truncated, okay, because Aaron Rodgers is at Pebble Beach getting ready for the tourney. We will be chatting with him at 2:05. Who knows how long we'll be chatting with him. Now, what does truncated mean, you know, in comparison to? Because normally he's on for an hour or whatever. So is it going to be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? We will say as soon as that starts, we're diving in. We're diving in.
Full speed ahead.
So that's 2:05 Eastern Standard Time. Be a friend, tell a friend. The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Boys, we got a lot of coaching news to talk about today.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
DeMeco Ryans is back to the Houston Texans. So that means if he's going to the Houston Texans, he's no longer at San Francisco. Well, Vic Fangio, the former head coach of the Denver Broncos, who was a defensive mastermind, he was going to the Miami Dolphins last week. Then it came out that he said, nah, and he's got very close kin over in San Francisco, and he coached up in San Francisco. Is Kyle Shanahan about to bring Vic Fangio in to the San Francisco 49ers? That doesn't answer the quarterback question, but there's been a lot of moves. We'll have Ian Rapoport joining us from the Senior Bowl in about 15 minutes or so. He's in Mobile, Alabama. Can't wait to hear what he thinks is potentially happening, and then as soon as he gets off, the direct opposite happens.
That's exactly
One
right.
half of the hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys Tone Diggs is here. Tone, you look fantastic, pal. Can't wait to run through your tweets from last night that just kind of point out some flaws in the NFL was rigged conversation.
Potential. I mean, the marks will try to find holes in my argument. Good luck. There's not any. Okay?
So this is, I got a couple people that tweeted me and, you know, maybe sent a message or two that was like, why are you even talking about this whole thing? Like, it's obviously so absurd. I'm like, you're out of touch. You don't know.
Yeah, it's loud.
We are an internet show. It is very loud on the internet right now. Literally, there's a lot of tweets that go off, and the first response is rigged, 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 rigged. The people are really thinking that. Now, is it because we've all lost so many bets? Probably.
Could it be?
People are losing their actual money. Or is it because the refs are so bad? Definitely. But nonetheless, the NFL has an actual narrative issue going on with the games being cooked. Now, the new one is that, well, obviously, Patrick Mahomes is a State Farm baby. State Farm is one of the biggest sponsors of the NFL. They want to have their State Farm representative in the Super Bowl. It's like, what about when Baker Mayfield was the face of every single company and he got fucking ran out of Cleveland? Did that not add up? We're telling you what is going on in real conversations on the internet. We think it's absurd, but I can't wait to hear from somebody that truly believes it and them give us a reason, and maybe we go,
Got a point there.
okay, so hundreds of people would have to keep a massive secret that would bury an entire league, the biggest league on earth. That would ruin probably billions and billions of dollars of business, but it's really happening, and we will continue to chat about it. Not only Ian Rapoport today, Gene Steratore, obviously legendary Western Pennsylvania Paisan referee, not only in the NFL where he was superb, but also college basketball and any type of officiating you need. Friend of the program, Paisano, knows his shit. We all get to watch him work on CBS alongside
No, Gene. What do you think here, Gene? I don't know.
Tony Romo and Jim Nance. Obviously, he gets a lot of say, a lot of talking, as he should. He was the GOAT on the field. I think every player that's ever played would say that. And obviously, he has the index card situation in his resume. Can't wait to chat with him about how fucked up the reffing is and why it's his fault.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about that in about an hour or so. And then we obviously have Aaron Rodgers and the guy who's joined us all season, taking us into the trenches. And last weekend between the Niners and the Eagles was like his Super Bowl, and all hell broke loose at the quarterback position, so it wasn't really that great of a showing for the 49ers. But this man lives and breathes the big dudes. Donnie.
Oh, yeah, he loves it.
Give me the big baldies.
Right. Love the
Let's
big
talk
boys.
about these feet like a shorebird. Let's talk about these big guys moving other big guys. Ladies and gentlemen, the host of In the Trenches and the Bobbled Exchange, 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion, AQ Shipley.
What's up, guys?
Hey, Philadelphia Eagles just beat the fuck out of the Niners. We haven't got a chance to chat with you. Obviously, you just got here. We had Overreaction Monday yesterday. None of us could have expected that because the way the Niners run the ball and the way their defense flies around. A couple injuries at very key positions, most specifically the quarterback position for the Niners. They didn't get really creative until late in the game, and it has come out, breaking news as of yesterday. Brock Purdy has torn his UCL in his elbow. He will need the Tommy John surgery. He will be out for 6 months or so, which will feed into Tone Diggs' is it really rigged, huh? Brock Purdy bought into the script so hard that he said, you know what, fuck it. For the next 6 months, I'll go through rehab and maybe never be able to throw a football again. Now, with modern technology and modern science, Ben Roethlisberger was able to come back and play. Obviously, every baseball player that gets Tommy on is able to come back and play. But there was an initial report that it was just nerve damage that happened. So we thought he could come back maybe third quarter, maybe fourth quarter, maybe next month, maybe 2 months. I thought that was a little reckless to call that thing a nerve thing, because the way I'm watching it is like, oh, you can't do any more damage, fucking get him out there. Torn UCL is a big deal. The fact that he was even out there is crazy. What did you learn about the Niners on Sunday? And what did you learn about the Philadelphia Eagles, big in the trenches, AQ Shipley?
Yeah, so it was the game that I was most excited for, and then obviously, 5 plays in, Purdy's done. I mean, it's a wrap. And on that play, I sent it to you guys yesterday, wide open. That game could have drastically been different. It's a 7-7 ball game with Josh Johnson and a quarterback. Guys played on 50 teams in the NFL, right? I was still looking for it. I was like, all right, cool, here we go. And then we get the fumble at the end of the first half, and the game just fucking went south from there. But here's the deal. Philly's offensive line is incredible. They are absolutely incredible. They ran the ball against the best defense, and it all starts with the quarterback. I showed you that. I'll show you later. Fred Warner having to play the quarterback run, having to do all these different things. He's stuck in concrete on the backside, never gets to his gap, front side out the gate. Kelsey in space. I mean, the boys.
Are the Chiefs able to stop that? Are the Chiefs able to stop that? How's the Chiefs' defense?
They're good. I mean, and Spags lives and dies by cover zero. He ran cover zero a ton against the Bengals. The key is going to be Chris Jones. He's the key every week, right? If he makes plays, he can be a game wrecker and shut this whole thing down. If they can block him, watch out.
But the Philadelphia Eagles have been able to block
everybody, anybody and everybody. And the key is they're going to do such a good job of scheming him on the backside.
Sounds like you like the Eagles a lot.
I love the Eagles.
Okay.
Oh,
love the Eagles.
That's very early.
Okay.
Hey, we still got like 10 days until the Super Bowl or whatever.
Now.
I love the Eagles. I love them.
Nothing's going to get you off. How about get you off? Hey,
maybe sucking up linebackers.
Yeah, sucking up the edge. Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah, drag them in, suck them up.
Play action.
Yeah, all the big bodies, get it happening there.
Yeah.
Is there anything that could potentially change it? Like, for instance, there's a report coming out now that Patrick Mahomes' ankle was not hurt anymore. It might have tweaked it a little bit, but he feels like he's in good shape. 2 weeks of rest with Patrick Mahomes. Does that change anything, you think, in this Eagles-Chiefs matchup?
The only thing that would get me off this, again, get me off, is the fact that Patrick Mahomes has to have a superhuman day. That's the only thing.
But you can't.
What do you think the Johns are thinking over there in Philadelphia? They're back. They beat the fuck out of the Giants.
Oh, yeah.
They beat the shit out of the goddamn Niners. And then now they got the Chiefs, a team in which clashing styles here. You know, I think the Philadelphia Eagles have been bully ball since day one of this season. It's all about the O-line, D-line, baby. That's what Nick Sirianni said, just like his old man down there at IUP. And that's where the game is won and lost. That's why In the Trenches has been so fantastic this year. But that fucking Eagles team seemingly can do whatever they want to whoever they want.
Oh, yeah, and the Johns are definitely thinking kind of similar to what the Chiefs fans are thinking because, Mahomes' ankle is getting better, but now Jalen Hurts has a little time to get his shoulder better, so they probably think that he's going to be better than he has been.
Was that a thing? Was his shoulder? I know they kept telling us it was a thing, but like...
He said it was a thing.
Yeah, that's what they talked about during the game and before the game, is that his shoulder was still kind
he's throwing darts.
Yeah,
darts.
he's still running, too, and, eating contact. So, I don't know. I mean, you assume that he'll feel better than he has the last 2 weeks, but it didn't look like, he definitely wasn't playing with any limitations.
There's some breaking news around the NFL that we have to cover. Tone Diggs went in on the NFL is rigged, folks, last night on his Twitter. And Tone, I appreciate you doing this. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know what my algorithm's all about. I had to actually seek it out to see it. Because you're not even showing up in my fucking...
You don't show up in mine either.
What's that all about? Why is that?
Even
and the For You and the following thing?
That has ruined everything.
Yeah. Why are they doing it? Hey, Elon,
idea.
come on, bro. Come on. I know it's not Elon. Obviously, it's people around him. And Twitter is not dead. Twitter is thriving, and it'll keep going. The For You and the following thing, they're guessing on both still.
Yeah.
The following is a guess of the people you're following that you want to see. And the For You is just a guess of people that you may want to see. And for some reason, it's feeding me a lot of the similar shit. And I'm like, yo, I haven't seen Tone in my fucking timeline. Like, dude, literally the only reason why I went over there last night is because I haven't seen you in my timeline. I'm like, has Diggs even been tweeting? Because I was going to be like, hey, Tone, let's fucking, you host a show. We're a part of a show. It's playoffs. Like, maybe let's let the brain eat a little bit on Twitter, Let's let people see what we're thinking. And then it was just perfect timing. You had just been in the middle of your fucking, here I am, here we go. And I'm like, oh, Tone's still going. And then as I'm scrolling through these, 8 tweets that he's been burying people the last couple of nights, I'm like, Elon, what the fuck?
I don't see any of your stuff.
Yeah, but you're like NFL tweets. You're obviously... We work together. We're around each other every single day. My phone hears your voice every single day.
Right. Yeah.
What's going on over there? Figure it out, boys.
I don't know. Yeah, the For You thing, and it'd be nice if it just stayed on the following tab, but every time you open it up, it's For You, and it's back to the same old days where you're just getting a bunch of shit from people you don't follow, but people you do follow like tweets maybe, so you're seeing a lot of that BS.
Isn't that what the talk is? The talk is For You and following, right? Isn't that what TikTok is?
Yeah,
I think your home page is like For You and following. The only reason why I know that is because, and that was what it was a year ago. I don't know what it is now. I got it. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do the talk. I only followed one person. It was Mitt.
Right.
And I would open it up, and it was like For You, and it was nothing that would be for me.
Yep.
And I go over to following, and it was just Mitt.
Still the same.
Still the same, right?
Yep.
Why is everybody doing that? We follow them because that's what we want our timeline to be.
Also,
what is the thought here?
I've noticed Twitter on my desktop. I see all your guys' tweets way more than I do on my phone.
Never in a million years
Exactly.
am I on my desktop on Twitter.
Exactly.
Never in a million years. Honestly, I have a laptop. It sits right here. There's a Microsoft Surface here, which is fascinating because the iPad doesn't work. The Microsoft Surface works with the phone stuff. So it's like I'm in the NFL all of a sudden, being kind of forced to use this. But it's very nice. I'm going to be honest. For the first couple of days here, very nice. Nobody uses Twitter on desktop, right? It's mostly a mobile app.
Exactly.
Used to be only a mobile app. And then now they'll figure, hey, Elon will figure it out.
Yeah, keep it going, Elon.
Anyways, Tone Diggs kind of decided to jump into the deep end of the pool with the rigged conversation last night and fired off some thought-provoking tweets. I wonder how much Burrow had to get paid per interception to rig the outcome of that game, or how much the offensive line had to get paid to let Chris Jones through. That's crazy. It is crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah, very.
It is crazy. What's the next one here? Crazy. This is crazy to think Jerry Jones has been okay with the NFL rigging games against the Cowboys for the last 30 years. He doesn't seem like a competitive guy, so I guess that's understandable. Maybe he just took the couple Super Bowls that they got back-to-back, and in that deal he was like, we'll take these now, and then you don't have to give us them ever again. Let me just build America's team. Maybe that's what's taking place. It does seem like he's genuinely upset when they lose games, though.
Yeah,
if he knew, he's a good actor.
Yeah, part of the work.
Jerry. What's going on over there? At the thespian school? Is that what he's doing? They're all
Probably.
acting?
I assume that's what
All right, let's go to the next one here. Crazy to think the NFL wanted the Seahawks in the playoffs over Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. They must have thought the Seahawks are a bigger money draw. Interesting decision by the NFL. That is an interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Because Packers fan base is huge, but Seattle's cool.
Yeah.
Seattle has
Carroll,
big-
Northwest is beautiful.
Gino's bigger draw.
Gino, he played every single snap this year. He's one of 5
pretty
guys that played every single snap this particular season. Geno Smith, Quentin Nelson, Joel Bitonio, Laramie Tunzel, and
It's because his lungs are so strong.
bingo. Knew this night, draft night,
Long
knew
time
Laramie
ago.
Tunzel was going to be able to breathe better than anybody when he takes a gas mask to the head and doesn't cough one time. And let's go to the last one that Tone Diggs sent out. Osai, got the name wrong, has to be up for an Oscar, right? Because it's all scripted. Those look like real tears and emotion, and he even sold almost blowing his knee out. That was a good sell after the late hit. Crazy NFL got him to do that because he did roll his ankle and hyperextend his knee on that same play where he definitely hit Patrick Mahomes late.
Yeah, it was tough.
Definitely hit him late.
No doubt about it. 2 steps out of bounds.
Alan?
Penalty.
Can't make that call at that time. Can't make it. Can't make it.
So you do not like that call on Patrick Mahomes by all I see.
If we're going to be the rule book guys, and this leads me into the next topic. Everyone thinks holding on Orlando Brown. Not holding. Everybody, we can call holding on every single play. Offensive linemen are taught to hold. But if it's within the framework, it's not a hold. We're good. Right guard, Trey Smith, definite fucking holding. Okay? Definite holding. Clothesline.
So you're saying everybody, there was a hold on it.
There was a hold,
but
just
wrong
not
guy.
the wrong guy. Go to the other side. We got the little clothesline by Trey Smith, right guard. Okay, if we want to call this,
He's clearly out of bounds.
we want to call that, we got to call this.
Clearly out of bounds. Clearly out of bounds.
8 seconds left in the game. Can't make it. Can't make it.
Look, can't do it. Yeah, you're saying can't do it? Can't hit a quarterback laid
Can't
out of
make
bounds?
it.
Or you're
Can't
saying
make the call. We just let that ride. If it's
that right there, Patrick Mahomes is the quarterback.
if Mike Hilton comes up and boom, decleats him. Yeah, call it. That.
What's the difference?
So you're still saying bad officiating, though, not that it's rigged?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Every player that's ever played in the NFL, aside from one, Chidi Anamaruto, Anaramatu,
That sounds right.
Anaramatu, Cheetah,
Cheaty.
Chidi. Guy played for the Bucks in like the 90s.
Yep.
Or the early 2000s, has come out and said that the NFL is rigged. And people have been searching for a player to come out and say it, and they found it with our guy, Chidi.
I'm looking.
Chidi.
Anarumo?
No.
That's Lou's cousin.
Lou's son?
No, Lou's family ain't coming out. Listen, if we know anything,
Yeah.
the people that are going to come out and say it's rigged ain't Italian.
That's right.
If it is rigged, it ain't going to be Italians that are doing it. I forget the guy's name. It was a player for the Bucks back in the day. He came out and said it was rigged. But I think every other player that has ever played in the NFL, every other coach that has ever coached in the NFL, said you're giving the NFL refs a lot of credit. You're saying that they're super intelligent and cerebral and able to strategize on what you should do, when really every person that's ever been in the NFL thinks the complete opposite. Like, these motherfuckers are the worst. These dudes will ruin a wet dream if they could. That's what a lot of people think about the refs, and I think that is the difference between people that have been in the buildings and people who haven't. Because you look from outside and you think to yourself, these refs can't be that bad. They can. And they have been for a long, long time. And I think that is something that we've just had to kind of echo through this whole NFL is rigged situation, which once again, we have to remind people is a very real situation that's happening right now with NFL fan bases around the NFL.
I agree. I think especially in these types of games, these championship games, we got to swallow the whistle. We swallow the whistle.
Let
the boys play.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. There was I think it was the pass interference right after the fucking botched 3rd down, 4th down call. There was like a Mike Hilton maybe on the sideline, just like a little tug, and they called pass interference on it or whatever. It might be a different one.
I have some good news for you.
Okay.
You're talking about let the boys play and swallow your whistle. Carl Sheffer's Super Bowl ref, most flags out of anybody in the NFL.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good.
That's
There
good
we go.
news. Hey,
Good.
thank you,
Right.
NFL.
Go.
Way to really have self-awareness there. You know what I mean? Way to really
Crushing
have
it.
self-awareness, NFL. Adam Schefter told us yesterday that the NFL knows that they have an officiating issue. Then he put the most flag-happy ref as the head of the Super Bowl. It's like 59 million people were watching that Bengals Chiefs game at its peak. Average like 52 million. How you doing? Keep moving. Pretty fucking good. And everybody saw what was taking place there, and the conversation lit up quick. Hadn't been that way all year, but it lit up quick. That 3rd and 9 situation, got to figure out how to handle that much differently, especially if an entire play has been run and there was no effect on the outcome of the play by anything that happened beforehand. Can you not fix the clock after the play, especially when it's a 3rd down going into a 4th down in the 4th quarter? Like, that was a panic situation by that ref. I feel like the ref panicked, didn't know what to do, and instead of just handling it in a fashion, said, oh, we got to redo and go back. It's like those big moments these refs have to be able to handle, and sometimes they can't. And we're not saying all refs suck. Seems like a lot of them do, but not all refs suck. There's some great refs out there. Hopefully we'll be able to get more. But you're right. The swallow the whistle and let the boys play is a real thing. But then when it matters the most, it can't change. You know, like in the 4th quarter or late in the 4th quarter, it feels like there just needs to be some consistency. And if you're a flag-happy reffing crew, which a Super Bowl reffing crew is, it's like, we're not going to have any consistency because they're going to be calling fucking everything probably. It's a damn shame that this is taking place, honestly, because the game is better than this.
The number one reply to me and our argument yesterday was us saying that a bunch of people have to be involved for rigging these games. Apparently, it's just Goodell and a handful of refs, and they determine the whole.
So
league.
Goodell's sitting on that leather recliner, eating his peanut M&Ms in his basement, watching NFL football.
What?
And he has a direct line to a couple of these refs that's cooking it. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a man who would know, wouldn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, well.
Senior insider for the NFL, the league itself, the network it is, and the streaming service NFL Plus. Host of the Insiders, which is on all the fast networks, which is free, ad
Audio.
subscription, technology.
Audio scripted.
It's basically where all podcasts are.
Oh, okay.
All podcasts called The Insiders. Ladies and gentlemen, host of the weekly wrap-up of Rap Sheet and Friends, us being the friends, he being Rap Sheet, Ian Rapoport. Oh,
What's up, guys?
we got the Senior Bowl down here.
Yeah, how's it looking? Pretty good?
Not too bad. Now, that is, the second most important senior operation this year as opposed to the Shrine Bowl with Bill Belichick and the boys?
Well, I don't think you want to get in the middle of that battle, Pat. I don't know if you want any of that.
Have
It
you
was
ta-
quite an internet war, I would say.
have you talked to
Not like a real war, but
Have you talked to anybody down there about their feelings on the NFL deciding to invest a little bit more in the Shrine Bowl and alternating which one means more each year? Has that been a conversation at all, or are you just trying to get everybody boozed up so you can learn stuff?
What?
I would say the second thing more so. And last night was, a successful night.
Had a baby rap.
I had some good conversations. Yep. Went to Dreamland Barbecue, bopped around a couple different places in Mobile, ran into some friends and then people who became better friends as the night went on. So I thought it was a really successful night, as a matter of fact.
Okay, congratulations. I've been out and about in Mobile. I've had a great night there, so much so I missed the flight the next morning. That flight was one of the only flights out of the Mobile, Alabama airport. I ended up being late to the ESPN All-Star Showcase Skills Challenge thing. Didn't get any of the swag or gifts or the rules. Okay. Showed up beforehand, won one of the events and left, all because Mobile got me. It's a great city.
You see any leprechauns?
It's not a bad city. I did not see any. I didn't say yeah, but Mobile, the original creator of Mardi Gras.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nobody knows that. Mobile
Yes.
created
So
Mardi
they
Gras.
So they will tell you, yeah.
That's what they would tell you, Ian Rapoport says. What's going on down there? You're just trying to make networking? Is that all this thing is for you, or are you really learning stuff about maybe the next generation of the NFL?
I would say a little of both. I'm at the point now where I'm really just trying to learn, just like personally, just learn who a lot of these guys are. And obviously a lot of the agents are down here too, so they want to tell you about their players. And like, that's kind of where we are in the process. Like, I'm not really worried about, let's say, like where everybody would go. It's more like, who are these guys? Who do I need to know? Who are the good stories? And then a lot of networking, because there's a lot of coaches. As you know, not a lot of people have hired a lot of people. So everyone wants to know, like, where all the coordinators going, where all the head coaches. So, like, that's a lot of the conversation. That's for me. And then Pelissero is down here. He's doing sideline for the game, so he's trying to learn, like, all these players and kind of tell their stories over the course of the week.
Well, we appreciate Pelissero's professionalism, but he'll do great no matter what because they'll plug him in.
Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of plugged in, you're plugged in. Let's talk about some of these coordinators that are going to be on the move here. Let's start with Vic Fangio. He was to the Dolphins. Then his camp said he's not to the Dolphins. DeMeco Ryans in the building of the Houston Texans today, we have heard. So he's out at San Fran. Vic Fangio going back to the San Francisco 49ers where he has some close kin. Is that kind of how we see this whole thing panning out?
So it really did sound like, it does sound like that Fangio went way, way down the road with the Miami Dolphins. And Pelissero reported it. I definitely trust him. I also saw the comments from Vic Fangio, who I also trust, considering it's literally him. It's a weird situation. It did sound like there was an agreement with the Miami Dolphins, and I believe that is still going to be the case. But it is interesting because, San Francisco is going to lose DeMeco Ryans. Likely to be the Texans coach, could come today. And obviously he has a lot of good history there. They'd have to change the scheme up a little bit. They kind of moved away from what he ran when he was there. But he is the master. He is great. And I wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco was like, you know what? Nothing signed. Maybe we could make a run at this. So I think in the end he goes to the Dolphins. Oh. But it's like free agency when someone has an agreement and you're like, all right, that's definitely going to be true. Probably, and then you kind of wait until he signs.
Okay, interesting. So we think Vic is still going to the Dolphins, but there's a lot of people that know Vic Fangio personally who say, hey, he's got a lot of connections to that San Francisco area, including, I believe, his significant other.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
That's right.
I believe is from, which we all know, any of us who are married know. and I don't think he's married, but all of us who have ever been in a relationship know that that is a driver. I mean, that is certainly a driver. Happy wife, happy life. DeMeco Ryans in the building today with Houston Texans, right? Is that negotiating a deal? Because it's basically been understood he's going back. Now it's just figuring out the details. Are they doing that in the building today?
I'm actually not sure it's in the building. I know he's in Houston. He arrived last night. Is it actually in the building?
Yes.
There's different places it could be. Like maybe it's at Cal McNair's house. I do not believe he's been in the building today, but he is in Houston. They're working that out. And I don't know that it's so much finalizing the deal. I don't know that the deal is going to be a problem because in order to get all sides kind of on the same page with where this is at, there had to be a pretty good understanding of like, all right, if we hire him, this is what it'll be. This will be how many years. I think it's more making sure that the football decisions are everyone's on the same page.
Got
with
it.
Like coordinators, who are we going to hire? Like I would say this: if DeMeco Ryans is not the Texans head coach, I would be extremely surprised by now. I would expect that to happen.
You broke that last week pretty much, so we appreciate you doing that. Congratulations on another notch under the old Rapoport belt. You deserve it. Now with the Denver Broncos, obviously DeMeco has told the Denver Broncos he's out of that conversation because of what's going on with Houston. Woody Page reported that, and he spelled DeMeco's name wrong, which is fantastic. Everybody keeps talking about them taking a big swing.
Dude, he did the lowercase m?
No, capital M.
Yeah.
Got it. With an A. DEMA.
Oh,
DeMeco.
no.
DeMeco Ryans. Yeah, Woody Page, a legend. So
Absolute legend.
absolute legend. So he can do whatever he wants. But he's been spelling stuff a long time.
yes,
That's
he
kind of
has.
his thing. So nonetheless, he said that the Broncos now are through their 3 top number 1 picks at head coach, and they have more money, obviously, than everybody else in a salary capless coaching structure, payment structure. They're going to swing big is what everybody's saying. They go and meet with Harbaugh again last week. We heard from Michigan Man yesterday. They didn't get a deal done. It was the first time they met in person. He'd probably take him off the board. What is this swing big conversation about? What does this mean? What is going on with Denver, Ian?
Okay, good question. First of all, the money, I don't love that sort of, not you did nothing wrong, but like I know there's a lot of discussion like Denver can outspend. They're all rich. They are all rich. And we're talking the
There's levels to this shit, Ian.
I know, but if it's like 18 or 16 million, like these are people who are worth billions. Like these are
25.
rounding errors. Like
25.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to. I mean, we'll see. Look, if Sean Payton gets $25 million, that is awesome, and he should get it because my guess is he'll be worth it. Like he's a very good coach, very very good coach.
Solid.
So you look at their situation. There are 2 things that could be happening right now, and they are opposite. One is Denver is collecting itself and getting ready to put in new slips to restart their search, or they are going to someone who has not yet been eliminated. Many of the candidates have been eliminated. When Harbaugh officially signs his deal, I will eliminate him, but I don't think that's been eliminated 1,000%. And Sean Payton has not been eliminated. So until Sean says, I'm definitely going back to Denver, or I'm definitely going back to TD, or until Harbaugh says, we're good and I'm definitely going back to Michigan, like those are still options.
Okay, so that's what swing big means? I mean, Sean Payton and Harbaugh still alive?
Yes. I don't, if you're asking, is it someone we don't know? I was told very strongly it is not someone we don't know.
Okay, and by don't know, does that mean like pop culture-wise not know, or a conversation for them having a head coach don't know?
No, pop culture don't know is like when I go to these Super Bowl parties in a week and there's some like singer and everyone's going crazy and I'm like, I have no earthly idea.
Mike Posner.
So that's more like.
Well, Posner obviously crushed it. Hardy at the WWE.
Oh, no.
Poor Hardy.
Hardy, hey.
Didn't deserve it.
Hardy's great. He's he's introduced as a country musician, but he's like a rock. It's like it's a rock. The WWE fan base did not know who he was.
I did not like him.
And it was.
You know who I saw in concert who I think has WWE ties? Do you know who Poppy is?
Hell yeah. She's been a large part of WWE. A lot of NXT shows, I think.
I saw her in concert, and it was amazing. I never heard of her.
Do you go to all those parties,
Anyway.
huh? That's like your thing. Super Bowl week, all those parties, that's like your thing?
I'll go to probably one. No, I'll do something every night. I just don't, No, I mean, well, some of that, yeah. The parties are so corporate that I'll probably go to one, but it's not like I'll spend my whole time doing that. They're just,
Bro, I hate them.
they're like really concerts anyway.
Those are my worst nightmares, those things. I hate them. I hate them.
Unless Posner's playing.
Well,
Debatable.
That whole thing, I mean, we just got,
Yeah, unless
if Bruce
Bruce.
Brown is performing in the crowd, then I love it. But Those Super
a
Bowl
big name.
parties are the furthest thing from a party. It feels like it's all what you love.
I'm with you. Believe me.
Yeah,
No, well, there's some of that stuff, but yeah.
All right, so let's talk about it. So Sean Payton or Jim Harbaugh going to the Denver Broncos, it sounds like. Arizona Cardinals, we thought Sean Payton was going to go to because, remember, he spent 8 hours there and got into Bidwell's electric car.
Yep.
How'd they get the batteries for those electric cars? We should certainly look into that. Are you saving the world or not? I bought a couple electric vehicles, thought I was saving the world. Turns out I might be actually legitimately killing people. Nonetheless, Bidwell has an electric vehicle.
Is that true?
I've
never heard that.
Look
the
into
information
it.
coming out so
Google
good,
it.
and I have a couple electric cars because I feel like a hero. I'm saving the world.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Oh, Pat, you look like a big dumb dipshit. Oh, I'm saving the world.
Yeah,
What are
sorry.
you doing? I'm so sorry. That was a way for me to grandstand with these people that come at me. Turns out maybe might be doing more damage to the world than in a citizen than anybody. But nonetheless, Sean Payton's in that building 8 hours. He gets into the car with them. It's all fine and dandy. He puts a tweet out, I'm still in on the Broncos as well. This was after a report from the Washington Post or the New York Post that Sean Payton was not going to have a seat at the table in the head coaching search. Washington Post or New York Post, very legit. As soon as you hear that, you think it's real. Is Sean Payton going to Arizona? And then there was 3 defensive coordinators basically that are being interviewed down there, including Lou Anarumo. Are they going to go defense with Kyler? Because that seems like a fascinating situation down there in Arizona right now.
The description I was given this morning on Sean Payton in Arizona, it's not dead. He has not been eliminated, but it's more back burner. What they're going to do now, so today they got Mike Kafka, offensive coordinator for the Giants. Great job for Daniel Jones. No, you see what I did? You said I pronounced it properly after you guys shamed me the other day.
No, we didn't shame you. You shamed Kafka family
Right.
whenever you pronounce the name wrong. Come on.
That's debatable. But so he's interviewing today, and then Lou Anarumo, who you had on your show, who is awesome and definitely couldn't figure out where to look with the video thing. That was hilarious. He's interviewing this week. And then Brian Callahan, another really good young coach, is interviewing this week as well. So, it feels like they're going to pick one of those guys. And if they don't, like let's say the Cardinals get through the week and don't have a coach. Well, the only reason you would do that is if you want to talk to someone who's playing.
Bieniemy.
Jonathan Gannon would probably be the one.
Gannon.
All right, if they're waiting, maybe that's who they want to talk to.
Okay, so Gannon and maybe Shane Spikeman.
Shane Steichen, yeah. Now he's going to interview
Spikeman.
the Colts at some point this week, second time.
No, he's not.
Oh, is he? The Colts have what, 7 or 8 finalists?
That's right.
But maybe
7,
not. Maybe more. Who knows? Okay, so Sean Payton's on the back burner. Why is that? Is that because it's 2 first-rounders for Sean Payton? You got to pay him, and he wants major upgrades to the building? Or why do you think Sean Payton became back burner for the Arizona Cardinals when seemingly he's the perfect answer with Kyler and what they need?
Yeah, the improvements to the building stuff is real. Like I believe that is true. I don't think it's going to be 2 first-rounders. I think it would have been for the Panthers, but I don't think the Saints are going to try to do that. I think it'll be realistic. Like it'll be a 1 and more, maybe a 1 and a mid-rounder.
3.
It has to be the perfect fit. And I think there was definitely some things to like in Arizona, but the improvements, you got the quarterback situation. You don't know when Kyler's going to be healthy. Probably around mid-year is based on my information. It's a lot of money.
Starting practice.
That's a thing. I don't have to do anything, so I can still stand here.
Okay, good.
So I don't know that it's a great fit. It's not dead, but I don't know that it's a great fit.
Okay, we thought it'd be a great fit.
Yeah.
Because that's what Kyler
I thought so too.
Yeah, Kyler, offense, accountability. He's been successful with an undersized quarterback. No offense to Kyler. Him and Drew Brees, both considered undersized with incredible arm talent. He's built a program before. They need it. That whole in-building
There's a lot of Sean Payton options for short quarterbacks. He's got Russell Wilson, potentially in Denver. Kyler, if he had gone to Houston, could have been, maybe Bryce Young, also not the tall. So he had a lot of short quarterback options.
So maybe he's waiting another. Is there a chance that Sean Payton doesn't like any of these options, or is it if they make him an offer, he's going to take it?
I think there's a chance he doesn't take any of them. Yeah, I think it has to be right, has to be perfect. Now it could happen this year. I'm just saying it's not like he's like thirsty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he still got that Fox gig, which seems like great. They have a great time.
They have
they're
so much
so
fun.
fun.
So much fun. Connor has a question for you, Rap.
Yeah, Rap Sheet, all the tags were released except for the exclusive franchise tag prices. Are there any players that you know right now that will be tagged no matter what, whether it's some guys from the Bills, Lamar Jackson, or there's any names there that you know now?
Yeah, I mean, Lamar Jackson is going to be tagged. I will.
Exclusive or
that.
non-exclusive?
So I don't firmly know the answer. My sense is it would be the exclusive.
Okay.
Because here's why.
So, yeah.
If they give him the non-exclusive tag, then someone can sign Lamar Jackson to an offer sheet and get him with the price of 2 first-rounders. If it's the exclusive tag, it costs Baltimore more. However, if at some point, and I don't think they will, but at some point they ever want to trade him, they set the price. So it'd be more than 2 first-rounders. So if we get the exclusive tag, it basically raises the price in the event of a trade, which I don't think is going to happen, but it's still noteworthy.
All right, let's run through this. Normally, people get non-exclusive franchise tags. I was non-exclusive franchise tagged. I learned that with a conversation with Rapoport a couple weeks ago, not when I got franchise tagged in 2012 or whenever the hell it happened.
Who's your agent?
Me, but at that time, I forget who it was. Still had to pay him a fee. Got franchise tagged. You didn't do your job.
Yeah, it's funny how that works.
So that was the last time I had an agent, by the way. So
Makes sense.
Everybody, yeah, that was it. Yeah, that was it right there.
didn't know that.
Yeah, well, and then we had TV agent Coonan there for a little bit. Coonan was put in a tough spot trying to explain who I am to these fucking corpo people. And I was like, all right, Coonan, not your fault, pal. Impossible task. See you later. So I'm not supposed to have an agent, but yes, I don't think I was fully explained or anybody was fully explained the non-exclusive or the exclusive franchise tag because it only happens with certain people. And normally those people on your roster, you want to get a long-term deal done so you don't have to take the cap hit. Non-exclusive is an average of the top 5 salaries of the last 5 years at the position that you're in. Exclusive franchise tag is worth top 5 salaries of the current year that you are in at your position and can't be traded for. Non-exclusive franchise tag can be traded for from another team. It costs 2 ones and then obviously the payment. And if Lamar Jackson was to get non-exclusively franchise tagged, it would cost $32 million there set for next year. But any team could come in, give 2 franchise tag or give 2 first-round picks and get him. Baltimore Ravens aren't going to do that. Why don't they just sign to a fucking long-term deal, dude?
Trying. They are trying.
Are
I
they?
just don't know.
Doesn't sound like
They
it.
are. I mean, right now, I don't know if there has been an offer right now, but I know that as an organization, generally, that is something they would like to get done very badly. Yeah.
That's why the exclusive franchise tag rarely comes into play because it's much higher price tag and it's only a 1-year thing. And with the guy that it normally takes place with, which is a quarterback, because that's the only person you would put the exclusive tag on, because people are rarely going to do two first-round picks weren't getting traded for old punter Pat McAfee.
Maybe.
2 first-round picks weren't getting traded for basically anybody.
They did it for Trent Richardson.
We traded 1 first-round pick, thank you, middle of the season. And Jim Irsay was tweeting before that it was earth-shattering news that was coming. And obviously it didn't end up working out. But I like when teams are hungry and are going to make moves. But it's very fascinating how that whole thing will work with Lamar. Just get a deal done. Ty has a question for you, Ian.
Yeah, Rep Sheet, given Brock Purdy's torn UCL, is there a chance now that it kind of sets the stage for Brady to go sign with the Niners for 1 year? I know the kind of common idea is that him to Vegas is kind of a done deal, but do you think the Niners make more sense? Are they a dark horse here, or would you say that they're actually potentially the favorite to sign a guy like Brady?
I would say the 49ers make similar sense. I wouldn't say right now, like, oh, he's definitely going to Vegas. First of all, we don't even know if he's playing. My sense is he probably is, but until he says it, or until we are told for sure, it'll still be a little bit of a question. I thought the same thing. As soon as I knew that Brock Purdy's injury was like somewhat serious, and it is pretty serious, that was my first thought. Now the hope is that he is ready for training camp. The initial thought going into surgery, and which surgery should be fairly soon, but we don't have a date yet. The initial thought is it's 6 months. So, okay, we fast forward that. It's right around the start of training camp. Could start slow and then ramp up and be absolutely fine. However, as with any surgery, there is always a chance that it doesn't go 1,000% perfect, or they're set like the 49ers will have to be ready. Now, they have Trey Lance. That helps. But is Brady an option now? Like, I would say he's more of an option now than he was before this injury. Absolutely, for sure. And it makes a lot of sense because you guys know the affection he has for that organization, where it stands, like in his life, in his family, as a kid. Like, that's all real.
Yeah, when he was a child, we saw a photo of him in that black and white picture that was taken with a old school Polaroid.
Yep.
Way back in the day. He loved those Niners.
Parents live out there.
Shanahan probably has an affinity for him, especially after 28-3. Watching what he did. Is that an offense he could pick up quickly, you think, Ian? Is that something, and obviously you're not the right person to ask this question to, so I will actually don't answer that. I will ask AQ that question later. We don't need you thinking that is what we need you on the program for. Ton Diggs has a question for you, Rap.
Ian, how's the NFL feel about Derek Carr, who didn't finish this season with his team, and Tyler Huntley being the Pro Bowl quarterbacks for the AFC?
Yeah, what happened with the Pro Bowl? I thought we had it fixed.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Who doesn't love dodgeball? And
I do love that. It's not about that. It's not about that. Are they just choosing not to give an actual, like, is it because there's no money given out for prize pool? I feel like what is the deal?
I mean, it's the same. The actual game will be better. For instance, I will watch this year.
True.
I'll be commentating it on Sunday, obviously, on ABC. I will be commentating alongside Kirk Herbstreit.
Oh, let's go.
Snoop Dogg will be mic'd up. Eli Manning will be mic'd up. Peyton Manning will be mic'd up. Pete Davidson will be there.
Snoop Dogg and Snoop Huntley? Seriously?
Yes, Snoop. And I think he's coaching – Snoop's probably coaching the NFC team, huh? Is he NFC team or AFC team?
Steelers guy?
Steelers.
If it's Snoop and Snoop,
Isn't he
though.
an actual coach? He, actually knows what he's doing, right?
Yes, loves football, has a entire youth league, I think, that he takes care of a lot of. Only person up there not mic'd up, Pete Davidson, is what I learned.
The hell's that about?
Isn't that because there was interference because his dong acts like a radio tower?
No, I thought they were going to wrap it around it.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
So he's the only guy not mic'd up on that thing. Should be a blast. But whenever we start hearing some of these names going into the Pro Bowl, we start thinking like, oh, this is the same old Pro Bowl that we've seen the last 10 years, Rap.
Yeah, except you're not wrong because it's the same thing where, like, you finish the season's forever. Like, Josh Allen pulled out, and I think he was the Snoop Huntley. He pulled out, and Snoop Huntley goes in. But, like, his elbow's been banged up all year. He's been on the injury report. He's been getting treatment. I think at some point it's like, it's been a long season, and I need to rest. So I don't necessarily mind that because, like, it is just a fun game. It's really just a fun game. And so if he doesn't want to play or needs to rehab, like, that's okay. I'll watch probably whoever.
Everybody
it's not
will.
bad for Snoop Huntley. Right, because we always do, because that's why it exists. We keep watching. But I do think the game will be better because it won't be like a bunch of linemen pretending to pillow fight. It'll be like actually a really fun sport, which is flag football.
Yeah, I think 7-on-7 will be fun. Me and Herbie are going to do our best to make that thing as good as possible. And there's going to be.
I understand how Pete Davidson's not mic'd up. Like, what's happening?
You should have seen me whenever I got the email.
Refuses or what?
Do you know how pumped I was? I was fucking man. I get to say hello to Pete Davidson. I'm excited about that. And then I got an email. Only one not mic'd up is going to be Pete Davidson. I'm like, Pete, why are you here for? Pete, you're fucking. That's what.
You running routes?
Is he playing? Is Pete Davidson playing?
Maybe.
Is that something that's happening, Ian? I have no idea. We need to keep an eye on it.
I cannot confirm that.
You work for the NFL. You're at one of the NFL's old big events. Now it's kind of just like maybe a big event for the NFL. They have a real problem with their officiating. And you know that we've been steadfast on this for a long time because we understand the power of refs. And also, we don't have a network or anybody else telling us that we can't talk bad about the refs. So we've questioned refs in calls for a long time. We've also put over good officiating, I think,
Big time.
through the whole thing. It is literally another team that's out there that has a lot of say in how the game goes. A lot of people thinking that the games are rigged right now, Ian. Do you get a sense that anybody in the NFL knows that? Because they picked Carl Sheffers, the most flag-happy ref, who led the most flag-happy crew to be the Super Bowl ref. Aren't they setting themselves up for this conversation to continue, or is this something that you guys aren't even acknowledging as existing?
I hope not. I hope that is not what they're setting up. And as you know, the officials, it's all there's. And I don't know the point system, but it's all basically a point system, and the reward is you get to be in the Super Bowl. And it's not the crew; it's basically all-star crew. So, to answer all of your questions, I would say, are they aware? Yes. And I would expect some significant discussion this offseason on how to get this thing better. I mean, is it full-time refs? Is it, starting from the bottom up and saying, who are we hiring as these refs, and is this the right? Are these going to be people that are going to dedicate their lives, their jobs to being a ref, and all the things that it entails, from going out to training camps and getting live reps and, doing, virtual reality, whatever people do to prepare. Is everyone 100% committed to that? Like, it does seem like there is an acknowledgement that things should be better.
Okay.
I would expect that to be a
Okay.
story of this offseason. Yes.
Okay, hopefully that'll be something that happens because, by the way, could have those refs practicing where? Senior Bowl.
Oh.
Shrine Bowl.
I'll look out
Oh, getting reps in. You know, maybe rap becomes a ref, huh? Maybe rap the ref.
That'd be sweet.
I don't think I have that in me.
Yeah, me
You
neither.
got to run up and down the field, and
We do not think it's easy to be a ref. It is a terrible job. Nobody's going to a game to cheer for you. You have to have a certain degree of asshole and arrogance to want to be a ref and have that power. With that being said, not all of them are good, and it affects a lot of things, especially when people have their actual money on the games legally now, and there's a call or two ruining their lives, as opposed to just ruining coaches and players' lives, which is what it has been for the last 50 years. So I'm excited that this is going to take place. Hopefully a change will take place that'll make the game better, make the league better, just like you've done. We can't thank you enough, Ian, for joining us from Mobile, Alabama.
thank you guys. Thank you for having me. I'm going to go watch practice.
Hey,
By the way, just so you guys know,
Go ahead.
hold on. This is actually really important.
Okay.
Practice is airing on NFL Plus.
NFL Plus! Hey, will you show that field real quick? Will you show the field real quick? Yeah, so, like, there's no room on the side of the field at all, you see?
Oh, yeah.
Like, next to no room with everybody's. I was a kicker at that Senior Bowl. Literally got to kick, like, next to no balls with anybody on the field watching.
Nice.
Only time I was able to kick was before practice started, when there was like 4 people in the stands. I think they were all working there. And then after, when the whole thing. So I enjoyed my time down there getting to meet everybody, but I don't know how much of it is really helping anybody. I think some real guys will change their narrative about them, though, down there at Senior Bowl, and Ian Rapoport will be on top of it. We can't thank you enough, ladies and gentlemen. Rap sheet. All right, it's on NFL Plus. Go check that out.
Let's go.
AQ, that's something you will actually watch. I saw you watching clips from the fucking Shrine Bowl of an offensive lineman that you saw that you said is an absolute dog.
Yeah, Joey Fisher from Shepherd College, maybe West
Yep.
Virginia.
Yep.
Stud.
Shepherd University.
Shepherd
U.
University.
It's
Okay,
a you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Good for Shepard kind of coming up in a big way.
What's their mascot?
It looks like the Rams.
Yeah,
Shepherd.
it's got
Yeah.
the Rams like little
Yeah,
horns up there. Yeah,
He was right tackle at the Shrine Bowl, right?
yeah, and he was beating people up.
And then he got invited to the Senior Bowl.
He got bumped up. Yeah, that's big.
That is crazy because it is bumped up. Bill Belichick's coaching in the Shrine Bowl.
Right.
And the Senior Bowl that has a bunch of assistants coaching is the bump up. That's an interesting dynamic to kind of watch.
But
out.
I have heard what you're kind of insinuating, that in 5 years the Shrine
Oh, yeah.
is going to be the next thing.
Clearly.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's
And
what they're telling all the agents too.
And I've taught. Oh, are they?
Oh.
Okay, so.
So it's real.
Breaking news.
All right, so like I pretty much, as soon as somebody that was, I was asked to go in the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame. I turned it down because I did not do enough. Put Pat White in there. He fucking deserves it. Everybody else does. But I was at Senior Bowl. Big deal getting invited to the Senior Bowl, especially because I was not invited to the Combine. I think I was the only player at the Senior Bowl that was not invited to the Combine, to be clear. So I was pumped to get down there and do my thing. And it was like, if you get invited to the Senior Bowl, you go to the Senior Bowl, unless you're like top 5 pick. And then I hear, oh, a whole staff, Bill Belichick and the Patriots staff are coaching at the Shrine Bowl, and a bunch of assistants that have been put together are coaching at the Senior Bowl. And I'm like, wait a minute. The coaching staffs are the big deal. That's why the Senior Bowl was the Senior Bowl. So something had to happen between Senior Bowl folks in the NFL and the Shrine Bowl. Shrine Bowl is going to become the new thing. It's out there at the Pro Bowl as well. I think it's the same week as Pro Bowl, week of Pro Bowl out there.
That's what they're saying. That's what I've been told. My sources say.
There was a quarterback I saw that turned down Senior Bowl invite.
Who's that?
Stetson.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's
That's another
nursing-
shit going on.
Yeah, he's nursing a vicious hangover.
Stetson,
Behind bars still.
just stay in Georgia, Stetson. Like,
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you do
You know
that
what I
in Georgia,
mean?
you're fine.
just stay in Georgia.
We were talking about that with the Niners coming up this next year. To Ty's question to Rap Sheet, like, who says Stetson Bennett doesn't get drafted in the 5th round by Kyle Shanahan? He goes and throws 30 touchdowns.
There's some coaching staff or scouting department that is very happy he got the public intoxication.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, not only are they saying he's too old, he's not big enough or fast enough, but now also he has a couple red flags.
Yeah,
So
problem.
this guy gets the whole thing. There's some scouting department that's like, we're going to be able to get him at 4. I think.
Yeah.
I think we're going to be able to get him 3rd, 4th round after this whole thing. Like Stetson. need you to go to another state and do exactly what you did.
Mm-hmm.
And now, should not be publicly intoxicated. I think they're banging on doors at 6 a.m. and they can't do that. Obviously, for Stetson Bennett, can't be happening. I am somebody that had a public intoxication, had a great Tuesday night, rolled into a Wednesday morning. I end up in solitary confinement. No fun. Changed my life completely, though. From that point forward, changed my life completely. I assume Stetson will have the same situation take place, but that is not going to drop his. I
don't think so.
Is not going to drop his judgment from any of the teams that like him. I don't think at all. Might actually sounds terrible. Don't want to be the guy that says it, but there's going to be some people that are like, "All right, can I have a beer with the guy?"
Can I have a beer with the guy?
Like that happened with me. There was a couple teams that were like, "Oh, okay." So the punter was the one that had the party where everybody got arrested from. Yeah. Okay, so he's liked by his teammates. Seems like a guy that he had the party. Yeah. Okay. Seems like
people went.
Seems like we like the guy. Like that. That kind of actually, I think, not good. Shouldn't have happened. Obviously, everybody should have stayed at the house. Things ended 2, 3 o'clock. Everybody went their separate ways. Shit happens at that time. Everything was safe. But that actually ended up, I think, for some teams, was the reason why they came and talked to me as opposed to maybe other kickers and punters. Stetson Bennett, I'm not saying him getting a public intoxication is good news, but I'm also saying the teams that love him are not fucking eliminating him from contention strictly from this. This can't become a habit.
No.
But like this one thing, I don't think is going to ruin anybody's thoughts on him. And I don't know why he isn't higher up in the conversation, which also leads to another guy. We said 2 weeks ago that we have a quarterback that's coming into this draft class that has not been talked about, that is going to become our guy, we think.
Yep.
Now, we know Bryce Young is highly touted as Steph Curry of football.
Of course.
Is what they're saying. Was that Alabama didn't win a national championship, but everybody's saying he's incredibly talented and he's electrifying. And we have Bryce Young. You don't, is literally what Reese Davis has said on College Game Day whenever he's talking about an Alabama game. And people like C.J. Stroud, because what C.J. Stroud was able to do against Georgia, let alone all the physical tools, but everything he was able to do during those, 32 days or whatever it was, to become the leader that everybody wanted him to become, in the way Ohio State showed up against Georgia, who once again won by 58 points in the national championship. That came down to a field goal. Ohio State almost maybe makes it to the Natty because of how C.J. Stroud plays. Used his leg more. Everybody loves C.J. Stroud. Will Levis, he's 6'3", 240. He's got the build. He's got the body type. He could be the next NFL quarterback just strictly by looking at him. And also you see some highlights of him spinning the ball. The guy can throw it. In the right NFL system, he can go. We like Stetson Bennett a lot after watching him play.
yeah.
His accuracy seems to be one of his biggest things, and his moxie, two of the most important parts, we think, of being an NFL quarterback. Now, can't be a complete dipshit. Have to be able to learn the offense. Feels like he'll probably be able to do that. Maybe not. Who knows? But he could be a guy. The person nobody's talking about, and we should have brought this up 2 weeks ago whenever we said we wanted to, Hendon Hooker, 6'4". Okay, Hendon Hooker is 6'4", can move, beat Bama in Bama. Had an ACL, obviously, against South Carolina, I believe. Mm-hmm. So that kind of changed the trajectory of not only the Tennessee Vols, but also Hendon Hooker's draft stock and conversation. He's 24 years old, very mature. The Tennessee offense with Coach Heupel runs a lot of option routes. So that is him having to decide what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, versus defenses. Feels like he has a sophisticated football brain, and he was a game changer for this Tennessee Volunteer team. I'm a big Hendon Hooker fan. With modern science and modern technology, an ACL definitely sucks, but we've seen a lot of people be able to come back. Now, there'll be some old school people that say, he tore an ACL in college. He's going to get hurt in the NFL. Valid, might. But also, there's been a lot of people that have gotten hurt, had surgery, came back, never got hurt again. Frank Gore was allegedly going to be a problem physically whenever he got hurt at Miami. He only went on to play 55 years at running back, never missed a snap, never wore pads. So there's so many different examples, if you like a guy or don't like a guy, that you can make to either put a guy over or bury him. Hendon Hooker needs to be a part of the conversation more, especially for a team that has a top 5 pick that is definitely looking for a quarterback. 6'4", 24 years old, one at Tennessee, one in Bama, we all know that, and had some big-time plays. He's not being talked about at all. I'm a Hooker guy, I think, all of a sudden.
Yeah, last year was 2 years ago, his 31 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This year, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions before he got hurt.
What are we talking about?
I believe I think he was the Heisman favorite when he got hurt, if I remember correctly. It's probably just people forget. You have the injury and people forget, which I hope is not the situation. for NFL scouts. Throws the deep ball incredible. I think it might be like the intermediate routes, like stuff like that. But he, like those wideouts in that Tennessee offense, like you talked about it. We've talked about it with Gabe Davis, and he throws like an incredible deep ball. I think it's like the intermediate accuracy that they're talking about right now.
Well, Trevor Lawrence, right? Intermediate accuracy, AQ Shipley.
Yeah.
Isn't that your big thing about Trevor Lawrence?
Yikes.
Yeah, but he can fix that. He'll be able to figure it out. He'll get it going as he grows. Hendon Hooker has not been talked about at all. Coach Pagano broke down some film on him 2 weeks ago whenever we were like, hey, look at Hendon Hooker. And I know Chuck knew who Hendon Hooker was, but he's not being talked about as one of the top guys in his quarterback class for I honestly don't know why. I guess because he's coming off a rehab or an ACL rehab. But in 2023, with the way rehabs go in the process, and it's almost down to a science, no offense, to get it all the way back, why not Hendon fucking Hook? 6'4" winner can spin it. What are we doing?
Yeah, mobile too. It's kind of like an out of sight, out of mind thing, but that's what doesn't make sense with Bill Levis. And granted, Bill Levis can be unbelievable. Like Hendon Hooker has beat some of the best teams in college football, whereas some of these other guys, haven't been able to do that. And who knows how Tennessee's season ends if he doesn't end up getting hurt. Maybe they do go to the college football playoff, and Bryce Young didn't. But it feels like you have to be in the college football playoff to be considered, up here at the top.
Will Levis is being talked about.
Yeah. Exactly.
Kentucky didn't win at all.
Yeah, I know. He didn't.
Everybody's talking about Will Levis's offensive line not being good. He's got a guard going in like second or third round or something like that. Not saying the other four were great or anything like that, but the whole convo is that this quarterback class, not necessarily the best quarterback class. Next year's quarterback classes, we don't know that.
Said that last year.
We have no idea who's going to do well in the NFL, who's not going to do well in the NFL. But him being absent from the convo is alarming to me.
It seems like he might kind of fall into that like Russell Wilson, like he gets picked up in like the third round and he goes into a situation where it's like, hey, this guy's going to be the backup, and then he kind of wows him during training camp, and by the time the season starts, it's like, hey, shit, let's roll the dice with this guy. I mean, you look at a couple of these teams, too, like Malik Willis. I mean, teams like that where they draft guys higher than maybe a lot of people thought they were going to go. Like, he started a bunch in college. He was incredible when he did play. If all you're looking to is like, oh, he tore his ACL, like, I would imagine you're going to know pretty early on in training camp, like, okay, this guy, he's back. He's back, and he might be a little raw because he's young, but like you said, the more reps he gets, like if your only concern with a guy is like, his intermediate accuracy needs to get a little bit better, like
we can do that to anybody.
There's a hell of a lot of guys in the NFL who have that same issue. Exactly.
Yeah. Why hasn't he been talked about? I don't know. Tony, you love this draft. You love draft talk.
I do.
I am not a big draft talk guy, even though we have Draft Spectacular it's our biggest show every single year. Because who knows? Who knows who's going to be good, who's not going to be good, who's going to be able to battle whenever the football level is raised, who's going to be able to handle money and everything that comes along being in the NFL. And so I think it's all a big guessing game. Him not being chatted about is alarming to me.
It is a big guessing game. Right now, like the top three are pretty much consensus in Young, Stroud, and Levis. And then like after that, people have different rankings. Like a lot of them have Anthony Richardson ahead of Hendon Hooker, which I wouldn't because.
How about Stetson? Is Anthony Richardson above Stetson?
Yes, yeah.
The guy had 0 touchdown throw for like 7 weeks.
First rounder, like almost unanimously, they're saying.
Anthony Richardson?
Yeah.
Just because of how athletic he is, I guess?
He's projected. A lot of these coaches think they'll be able to give him a couple years and they'll be able to kind of get the most out of him.
Guy had 0 touchdown passes for like 8 weeks as a college quarterback or 6 weeks as a college quarterback. And now he's leaving early. He's an NFL quarterback.
First rounder.
I don't know how that happens. I mean, go get your money. I hope AR-15 gets all the money in the world. I hope Will Levis, who has opted out of the bowl game and opted out of everything else, ends up getting drafted high. It's like, I don't know why Will Levis is doing that. I feel like he should be trying to play as much as he possibly can to prove that and separate himself from everybody else.
Yeah.
But what do we know? We're just a bunch of old fucks, I guess, talking to microphones.
And it changes from situation to situation because he did go to Kentucky. But I think you also look like when Jared Goff, and he had an incredible year this year, but I think there's a lot to be said about if you're getting drafted like, 1 or you're the first quarterback taken, if you don't fucking win in college, and granted, again, it's, he went to Kentucky, he didn't go to Alabama, but if you are that guy, like, you win at Kentucky. That's just, that's the way I feel, and I think there is a lot to be said about that.
I watched Pat White win at West Virginia.
Exactly.
Now, was he an NFL quarterback at the time? No. If he was coming out of college now, he would be the number 1 guy.
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks for him. But, like, I feel like a quarterback kind of decides if you go or not.
Right.
So it's hard for me. I don't know. Maybe we're thinking too small.
No, because it's all the quarterbacks that are young in the league. Like Purdy won at Iowa State. He couldn't beat Iowa, but he still won. And then, Kenny Pickett, he won at Pitt. And then you even look at the second-year guys. Fields, he won.
Lawrence.
Mac Jones, Trevor Lawrence. Like, even, you can even throw Zach Wilson in there because he won at BYU.
Oh, yeah, I remember him in that Coastal Carolina battle. You remember that? It was like Thursday night or whatever.
Scheduled the game on, like, Monday.
All right, let's get to a break. AQ, any thoughts on any of that?
Josh Rosen went 6-6 his senior year at UCLA.
Boom.
What was Josh Allen's record?
How about him just sitting on that, waiting?
I was waiting for that.
Look at you with a stat.
That was it.
Were you
Mahomes is an outlier, but he's different.
Well, Cliff Kingsbury, that guy didn't win.
Yeah.
And then he gets, I don't know how that happened.
That one's weird.
Kyler and Baker.
I think he's still
in Thailand.
I think so, yeah.
Might be shacking up with Schulte, actually. He might have got back.
Yeah.
Do you know IQ you talking?
I
Cambodia.
haven't.
Were you with Arizona when they drafted Josh Rosen?
Oh, yeah.
How pumped were you?
He was the Rosen one. You were pumped, right, for him to get up underneath
I was
you?
also there the next year when they drafted Kyler.
I
think.
They drafted a quarterback.
No, Rich Eisen. I remember Rich Eisen. No offense, Rich Eisen. We love Rich Eisen. But that whole draft night, the next year, they're talking about Josh Rosen maybe being traded. This guy was the best quarterback in the draft a year ago. I'm like, Eisen. Just ask a couple people about what they think about Rosen as an NFL quarterback. And it was like the entire story of the draft night almost was that, oh, my God, they're maybe going to trade Rosen. And I almost wanted to text Rich, like, unless you got information that we don't got, everybody's telling us, like, this guy is not going to be an NFL quarterback ever. And, like, now I've heard he's a great guy, right? Rosen as a human.
Great guy.
Great guy as a human. But as an NFL quarterback, it was like, everybody was like, this guy is not a guy. Him getting, what did he get, a second rounder or a third rounder for trade?
Second rounder, right?
They traded him a year later, got a second rounder to Miami. They traded him.
Yeah, and he bounced around all over the place.
He got a sick hot tub in his dorm.
He
room.
looked like the man.
I'm a big fan of the way Rosen operated.
Mm-hmm. And I think the Cardinals turned that second-round pick into Andy Isabella instead of Debo Samuel, DK Metcalf,
change of pace
Brown.
guy.
Oh, yeah, and Andy Isabella got released.
Hey, that building over there in Arizona is just from 1924. Is that what's going on?
Is that? Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. So that's one of Sean Payton's requirements. He wants improvements.
So every head coach that goes into a building has the capability to say, hey, I need this, I need this, I need this. That's like the new thing. Because, like, hey, I think it's a good time to kind of leverage yourself with the ownership. Like, oh, well, are you going all in for us to win or not? And him saying yeah, or her saying yeah, and then walking around the building being like, hey, can we get some new cold tubs in here, new hot tubs in here? Can we get a new this? Can we get a new this? And that Arizona building's
very old school.
Terrible, right?
Yeah, the weight room floor, like, it should have been replaced 27 years ago. Like,
it's a dump.
Nice.
There's a lot of things that need upgraded in that place.
Their team meeting room is the press room.
Exactly. Yep.
That's crazy to me.
Yep.
We've been dogging the Bengals for not having an indoor facility. They put a dome up. Just know that if we knew all this about Arizona, we've been talking a lot earlier, Hard Knocks kind of opened my eyes.
Yeah.
And then I started asking people in the building, I'm like, yo, are you guys on a stage in the team meeting room? It's like, well, it's also our press room. I'm like, what type of Bush League bullshit is this?
Place the shithole.
Fifth largest city in America, Phoenix, beautiful
on.
place. Everybody wants to move there. You guys got shit bag fucking facilities. Why is that? Why is that?
Yeah, now we set our sights on it now, and that's the next Bengals indoor facility.
You got
that we
University
will
of
help.
Phoenix facilities?
Cardinals PR guy fucking sucks too. So like him having to deal with this would be awesome. You know what I mean? Sorry about it, pal. You're in the NFL. Sell the team if you don't want to be in the NFL or act how NFL teams should act. Sucks for AQ. He lives there, knows all those people. Just kind of dragged him in here.
Yep.
But fucking build the building.
Yeah, if the Cardinals did.
$110 billion is what the NFL made off just their media rights deals, let alone the sponsorship partners, Intuit, TurboTax, how much money they're paying. These owners are making a fucking shit ton of money. Invest your money in your club. You'll make more money. I mean, that is just how business works.
Bidwell gives 10 flights to, some people in the Phoenix area, to California or somewhere. Probably just use that money to buy it himself.
What if players who come from these college facilities that are unbelievable now, like to an NFL facility, and
that's in a lot of places.
So I think
that's a lot of places.
No,
I think that's their selling point. They try and use the weather, the city, all that stuff as their selling point rather than the building.
Yeah, our facilities are trash, but it kind of keeps us old school.
When you leave, you're going to love it.
Yeah, when you're not in the building, which is not a lot of hours during the season, Wait till you see the sunset.
Oh my God.
Camelback. Oh, it is beautiful.
And free agency is the perfect weather, right? Like March, you go there for a visit in March. It's like
65, 70.
That's perfect.
Views. I love Arizona. Hey, Arizona, why don't you get better? I'm probably going to end up living there. Would like, have
Like
some
the team to be good.
Would like to have some success. Yeah. Get better, dude.
Please.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for AQ Shipley to attempt to win some money for some people.
Ooh, we're going early.
Before hour do you not want it? Nope.
Ho, ho, ho.
Do you not want it?
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go.
Doesn't seem like it.
Hour one, we'll wrap up with our guy, AQ Shipley of Phoenix, Arizona.
Come on, Al.
Attempting to win 15 people. $500. All he's got to do is make that ball into that hoop or that net right over yonder. And if he does, all you got to do is retweet this video, say something nice to somebody, and put your cash tag in the same reply so we can pay you officially on Cash App. AQ Shipley, whip you a Hall of Famer, 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion. Give it a go. Let's go. Spin it.
Ooh. Wasn't bad.
I didn't get another ball because
good spiral.
AQ was warming up for this. He was
red hot.
There it is.
Oh no.
Wow.
Hey, that was a laser, dude.
What a dart.
I thought that thing was going to fall off. I thought gravity was going to beat you. But nay. 15 people, $500. All I can do is retweet this video, say something nice to somebody, and put your cash tag in the same reply so we can pay you officially on Cash App. And a baby AQ. January 31st, hour 2 on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend, take 5.
Tonight is a night where everything's going to be remembered. Every play, every sweat, every fight.
Hop in the car, watch it go vroom, vroom. I told her mom that I will soon. Knew as a child back in the womb.
Hey, let's have a national championship Monday, huh?
My name's Pat McAfee. I've started this show 2 different occasions already. This will be the 3rd. Wow. It's 2023. We eat adversity for lunch. There's just so many different forms of gummies coming in my mouth.
Boss man, can you do a kickflip?
100 for it? 100 for it?
Oh!
Come on, bro. That was awesome.
Hey, this little teddy bear is cool. This little round thing is sweet. All right, I feel pretty good for this ESPN party. Let's go have a blast in there. Boom. Need you to do a red carpet. I've never done a red carpet before.
I got to poop, sorry.
I don't know if now's the time.
We're invited to the ESPN party, and now we are all sitting on a red carpet. We had no idea this was coming, obviously. We thought we were just getting some free drinks.
A lot of people on the internet say I look tired. What's that all about? I'm a massive fan of Posner. He was getting motivational speeches in between songs. He was playing other people's songs. He was telling people to stay down. We're going to make a moment. Only on the count of 3, we're going to go crazy.
Oh, I know. Sad song. Sad song.
Oh, oh yeah.
A couple of these. Bring it up. Bring it up.
Boost up. What do you want?
What'd you do?
Gotta make this practice game, baby. Gotta last until 9 o'clock.
Happy birthday. Sack of shit.
Yeah.
I'm so fired up to be here.
Yeah.
I got a necktie and everything.
Holy shit. Tim Tebow's here. Oh my God.
Look at that cut.
The most handsome shot in our show's history. Nick Saban has been spotted at SoFi. Great work in the back. Fox Team boys crushed it. Now we got game day, then the mega cast. Let's go.
Hey, let's have a night.
Obviously, the enemy of great is good. The enemy of a dynasty is winning one championship and letting it go. Ron, you're obviously going to Colorado, a place that's been looking for some sort of championship for 20 years. You're also one of the greatest speakers I've ever heard. What are you saying to your team?
You can't get here and all of a sudden change.
Yeah.
You don't want to see a different mannerism of somebody, and especially the coaches. See, everybody's talking about the players. Yeah. But you got to coach the coaches, too.
Did you smile there, too?
I saw
Were you smiling?
I
saw a smile.
I do that every now and then.
The rat poison smiling. That's embedded fourth quarter perfection. Matthew Stafford, fourth quarter perfection. perfection, big moments, Tebow perfection. We got some real magic here tonight, don't we? And I love that toad that takes those mushrooms and eating them. With that being said, Stetson Bennett's 25 years old. He's so damn comfortable. Darnell Washington's the backup tight end. He's 6'7", 270. Brock Bowers, best player on the field. The defense full of dogs. Give it to Georgia Bulldogs. Go back-to-back. First time since this man and his Alabama squad. I love the Bulldogs tonight, barking all over the place, Coach.
Here we go, huh? A little bit of rush from old game day down the field. We went all the way to the roof to come back. We are so sorry. All right, let's roll. I gotta get to the sleep, and then I'm gonna hop over the sleep thing. Good, Brad.
You are looking at SoFi Stadium, where we'll be crowning a national champion for our college football season tonight. And the Dogs are on the board early. Wide open.
That's the shot that they wanted, baby.
Stetson Bennett with his second touchdown in the first half.
Oh, no.
Georgia's first down. One-handed touchdown. Brock Bowers, touchdown. It is currently 45-7. It is 52-7. Touchdown.
Jeez. This is just a good old back home ass whooping.
It's a blowout, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Hey-o. That son of a bitch, Uga, is having the night of his life.
Wow.
It's raining indoors in Los Angeles. This is God taking a tinkle on something magical, isn't it? Let's get that.
Get him on camera.
That mustache.
Holy smoke.
Holy smokes. Why don't we call a game? Holy hell, Tim Tebow is coming. Tebow, we're live.
We're on.
We're live right now. Welcome back to SoFi Stadium. Right before the break, an extra point almost killed Tim Tebow. Natural instincts had to take in place. I could not lose the greatest human on earth, and I'm happy they gave you that ball, Tim. Tone, act like you're Sonny Dykes, please.
All right, boss. First half didn't go our way. We're doing this for the great state of Texas. You know who else is down 31 points?
Who's that?
The Italians.
All right, let's take the tractor another round. What are you watching out there, Coach?
Honestly, you know, they're better off grabbing Luka Doncic out of the crowd and maybe lining him up next to Quentin guys in that receiver. Because they can't do a damn thing.
We decided Tebow here, formerly known as praying for this TCU team to do something. So you put your hands up, play that song, butterflies fly away. Thank you for your service, sir. You're a badass, man.
Those other Americans, I wouldn't be here.
What a run, huh? The boys crushed it. Appreciate you.
TCU sucks.
What? That's all she wrote for college football season. What a year. Let's fucking get home.
Hey.
What?
Let's go.
This show fucking stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for. AJ, never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 31st, 2023. Hour 2 starts right now. Football! Has Pro Bowl this weekend, then a Super Bowl next weekend. I mean, we're in the middle of really prime time, showtime, showcase chapter of the year. This season flew by. It's already January 31st of the next year.
Wild. Unbelievable.
We only have 11 months left to 2023, and nobody's used to saying 2023 yet. Let's make sure we enjoy the moment. The Talks Table's here at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. Is that cocaine bear on your chest?
Yeah, it's Meth Bear. It's not the Cocaine Bear movie, but it's the Meth Bear brother kind of from the Bruins 1970.
I saw the trailer for the Cocaine Bear for the first time the other day. It looked like that bear was having a great time and also a big problem.
Oh,
Huge
yeah.
problem. Huge problem, that Cocaine Bear. How many kilos or pounds of cocaine did it run into?
Oh, I'm not sure. I did see the trailer as well. I can't remember if they mentioned it, but I would guess it's 100, 200 kilos maybe.
Atone Diggs, one half of the hammer.
Dahn!
Cowboys. That'd be a lot of kilos. 12-year NFL vet, Super Bowl champion, hosting the trenches, coming later today. AQ Shipley's here. That baby AQ. Did you see that Cocaine Bear? It's a new movie.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
True
I'm
story.
excited about this, though.
So I guess a kilo or pounds of cocaine, I forget how many it was exactly, falls into the wilderness out of a plane or off the bottom of a helicopter or whatever it was, and a bear happens upon and gives it a sniff. I never did cocaine. I smelled it a couple times, the bear said. And then it fell in love, and it became a problem. I guess this bear really took over, started mingling with humans, and just became a...
This is a true story.
True story, yeah.
Murdering people.
Somehow the bear did not have a heart attack after all that, so... Maybe some bitch-ass cocaine was really dropped in the middle of that woods. But I think I'm going to watch the movie. I had a friend in college who called it Cocaine Bear. He was...
Weapon?
He never slept much. He was a big guy. Yeah, we were all very surprised how he was able to keep weight on with the amount of coke that he was snorting through his nose. Never slept, always ate, seemingly. Good time all the time.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
He has passed away. Rest in peace to our Cocaine Bear.
R.I.P.
Total amount of cocaine eaten was 75 pounds.
That's a lot.
That's so
Many
much cocaine.
Flava Flav also said today that he was spending $2,500 a day on meth
for 6 years.
Crack. Here's Cocaine Bear. This
Crack,
thing
sorry.
took down 75 pounds of coke and then just continued to live his life and demolish everybody. Shout out to this bear doing its thing.
Way to go, Bear. Cheese and peas to the family.
It's going to be tough to take a hibernation whenever you got 75 pounds of coke in your system, but that's what the Cocaine Bear did, and they haven't made a movie about it. Our Cocaine Bear, every single day, live from an attic in Ohio, a Super Bowl champion, a college football national champion, a Ryder Cup champion. Ladies and gentlemen, father of 10, COVID survivor, AJ Hawk. AJ, rest in peace to my friend that was known as the Cocaine Bear, but this Cocaine Bear movie is about to be a good one, I think.
Yeah, I know. I heard that bear had like a 5 or 6 hour run, which is terrorizing the place, didn't it?
Yeah, I'm surprised it was only 5 to 6 hours. That thing should have been 25 to 26 hours, but I guess the body can only do what the body can do. Let's start talking about some bodies that are moving. DeMeco Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans. Our sources have told us he's in the building. Rapoport says he's not in the building, but he's certainly in Houston. How do you feel about defensive guy, former player, getting a head coach job down there in Houston, AJ? This is a big deal.
Oh, I think it's a huge deal. Obviously, DeMeco has so much respect from everybody around the league, but the fact that he was there, we see the picture of him and J.J. Watt going around the internet when they were both playing together. Yeah, it makes sense. I know for DeMeco, if he can go and turn them into a contender, like again, and get them rolling, that place, we say it's one of the loudest places when they're really rolling. So, tough task, but yeah. I think DeMeco, I love the dude, so I'm all for it.
It's a good barn down there. AQ, is it as easy as being able to turn around a culture as we just hope it is, like Doug Peterson made it look?
You need players, and they don't have enough of them down there, so they're going to have to make some moves, free agency, draft well, and then hopefully, obviously, put his scheme together with the coaching staff he brings in.
AQ, we've been talking about, I don't know if we got your take yet, but this is a defensive coach getting hired as a head coach. Congrats, we're happy for him. Former player, pump for him. Pump for any former player that gets this type of role, this type of job. I'm excited to see who he puts together as his staff. Obviously, he's been around. But you hire a defensive coach. If the offense does well, you're going to have to hire a new offense coordinator in like a year or two because that guy's going to get plucked to go be a head coach somewhere else. What are your thoughts on that whole developing story that's happening around the NFL?
Well, I think I saw the other day that the last 2 championship games have all been offensive coaches.
And divisional round this year, I think there was only one D. McDermott was the only defensive guy that was left.
Yeah, so I think it's tough. It's an offensive league right now, and that's where we're at. And you'll see later.
We won't be forever.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll see later on in the trenches why it puts the defensive predicaments.
Yeah, you need to have a big offensive mastermind to be able to put things together. And what the Eagles were able to do to the Niners, who are also an offensive strategery team, was fantastic. But I'm happy for DeMeco. And how about, did you hear what Rapoport said about the Arizona Cardinals? Sean Payton's still in play, but maybe some of the upgrades to the building did come into play with how much Sean Payton wanted done, what Sean Payton thought an NFL facility should look like, what the Arizona Cardinals facility does actually look like, and why they might end up going somewhere else. That was fascinating to me, AJ.
I mean, if that's really the hang-up that keeps you from getting Sean Payton, that's a problem, I believe.
I think it's been a hang-up for a long time.
It'll cost millions to redo it, but I'm sure there has to be a plan already in place of when we're going to renovate this place.
Well, and that's why Sean Payton said, like, hey, the relationship with the quarterback's important, but the relationship with the owner is the most important because I want it to look like how I see it.
AQ, what do you got a twitch?
Yeah.
AQ's going like this while you're saying, when you said there has to be some sort of plans to renovate.
There should be a plan.
AQ was moving his head as fast as possible, going like this.
The cocaine
I think it's been like that for a long time.
It's been like that for a long time. And they've gotten coaches. I mean, they've been through 4 coaches since Green left, right? When was Green there? 2006?
They are who we thought they are.
Yeah, so...
If you want to crown them, fucking crown them.
We let him off the hook.
Yeah,
that facility has not changed since then. It hasn't.
How come nobody talks about it? Just because Phoenix is such a beautiful city?
I think that's it. And they've been fairly successful for the most part. I mean, the whole Bruce Arians regime was very successful.
Kurt Warner.
How's Bruce let that happen? I thought Bruce was a big-time players coach. Got these guys hopping in the cold tubs that are the size of one leg. What the hell is going on over there?
I don't know, but I mean, I know one thing. When he left that building, the golf courses are great. The weather's great. The restaurants are great.
Oh, so that's what the selling point
that's
is.
The selling point.
Still sweet.
You know, we're saying, AJ, that's we attacked the Bengals organization for not having an indoor facility. Now, the Ohio fucks that are Bengals fans thought we were attacking them. We're trying to help you, Bengals fans. Got the indoor facility. Obviously, we heard from numerous players and coaches about how that ended up paying off dividends. And it's 2023, 2022. You should be able to have a bubble that Duquesne University in Pittsburgh has had for 20 fucking years. You're in the goddamn NFL. It's the highest level. How come this Bush League stuff still happens? I didn't know this until Hard Knocks. But if this is a real reason why Sean Payton is not their head coach, that's ineptitude, isn't it? Isn't that not ineptitude?
It used to be normal when I first got in the league, 2006. So we all know General Bobby Carpenter goes to Dallas. Dallas's facilities were not great. Their practice facilities absolutely were not until they've gotten all this new stuff they've built up. Bobby was telling me, I think they were giving them they had boxed lunches and they would take $14 out of their checks when he first got there. That's how it used to be, and that's how a lot of the league used to be too, actually.
And now it's kind of changing, I think, obviously, with the amount of money, but there are still some buildings, obviously, that are from the 1920s. And Sean Payton is seemingly the perfect fit for the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't he?
I mean, from the outside looking in, maybe, but we don't know really what's going on inside there. I know AQ knows more than us.
I don't want to say Rapoport said that the upgrades were the reason why, but at least a first round and a mid-round pick is what Rapoport's reporting for what you would need to trade with the Saints to get Sean Payton. Then 16 to 18 million a year is what Sean Payton's asking for. And Ian Rapoport has said every owner has that. Every owner has 16 to 18 million. Now, if it's 25 million, every owner has that, but it's a little bit different. There's only a few that would probably spend that and break the salary capless coaching contract thing wide open. Some people are reporting that maybe the Broncos, I think Florio is reporting that the Broncos' new ownership doesn't want to ruffle any feathers with the whole salary cap on the coach thing and pay Sean Payton $30 million to be the head coach. When
they don't have to know, though, right? Can't they keep it private if how much they pay the coach?
Yeah, right. Sean Payton has no agent. Is he doing this himself?
Yeah, you're right. I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Make that part of the deal. Hey, we'll give you $22 million. You better shut up. If anyone finds out about it, it goes down to 12.
Yeah, but Sean Payton's agent is probably negotiating for another coach.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, this was Sean got. Yeah, it all gets out, which is a weird thing. Every player's contract gets out, so everybody on earth knows exactly how much money a player is supposed to have. They don't account for taxes and living your life and everything like that. Kind of puts a target on some people, potentially in their own neighborhoods or family, but it is what it is. It is professional sports. Nobody's really buried the Cardinals for their facilities being trashed, though, for a long time. We buried the Bengals for not having an indoor facility for the first few years of this show. This is something we should turn our attention to, I think.
Tractor beam, straight on. Yeah, well, I remember coming out, people would say always, like, hey, if you came from a big college program, you're going to be let down by the facilities at the next level. It's going to be much smaller than you're used to because the team is so much smaller. I mean, you have half the guys pretty much than you do in college, and you're not recruiting. You're drafting guys. Hey, here you go, buddy. Here's our facilities. You want to go somewhere else, your contract's up in 4 years.
This is your locker, whether you like it or not. We're not doing recruiting tours or visits. We're not selling you on anything. This is your locker that you're in, and this shower is your shower. You will have to wait in line because we only got 3 heads in here and obviously 53 guys, and there's no doors on the shitter. You know, like that's
sorry
about it. We had a couple break. We figured the best thing to do would just be get rid of them. But it is, I think that's bad business. I think it's a bad idea. I think you invest in your business, you get more in return, even though old school people don't think that, I guess, AJ.
It's changing, though. I think that's changing. I know whatever with my YouTube algorithm, I see all the time, like, these nice new facilities popping up, whether it's like Arizona State's golf facility or these basketball places. Like, they're all, like, it's very public knowledge, like, oh, how these guys are taking care of their bodies and how they can do all these things to extend their careers.
Good bodies. When I came to the Colts, now the West Virginia locker room we were in, from my freshman year to my senior year, changed. Senior year completely different than what it was the first 3 years because we won a bunch of games. We won a bunch of games, big games. A bunch of money comes into the university. The school gets built up. New classrooms, new buildings are built up. The stadium gets built up. Our locker room gets built up. We only got to experience it for like a year. Me, the class that I was a part of, Pat, Steve, everybody. Then you get to the NFL. We get to the Colts facility, and it was bad. It was a bad facility. And Jim Irsay builds this Pete Dye golf course outside, and it's like multi-million-dollar golf course outside the facility. And there was a full not by me. I was a rookie. I'm not talking about anything, the business, nothing. There was a full discussion there, like, oh, ain't that nice? Got a Pete Dye golf course outside, and we still have the single cold tub that we have to basically sign up for when every other college that every guy's been to has an entire pool. And you would think you would want your players to be doing this, getting rehab, prehab, getting better so they can play better. Oh, we're flying on smaller planes. You got smaller this. The food's shitty. Like, it's like, what are you? That seems like such bad business to me. But it doesn't matter because the NFL is like this. The numbers have come out. 59 million people watched that CBS broadcast of the Chiefs and the Bengals this past weekend. That means 59 million people at its peak. Listen to this legend chit-chat about the rules of the greatest game on earth. 59 million people got to listen to this Western Pennsylvania Paisan break down why what was happening, what he would have done. Is not scared to say, hey, I think that's a bad call because he's a great fucking human. Ladies and gentlemen, probably the greatest ref that the NFL has ever had. Now CBS rules analyst, Gene Steratore.
Yay!
How we doing, Gino?
Patty, how are you, my friend? And listen, congratulations on the you're expecting your first child here in a few months. So we're really happy for Jens. Everybody's happy for you, Patty.
Man, Gene, thank you so much for that. It is great to see your face again. We can't thank you enough for joining us. We know you're very busy, and I will relay the message to my wife who's watching, who is also a massive fan of yours. Hey, you need to know everybody in the McAfee family, my mom, my dad, my wife, my brother, everybody loves Gene Steratore. Western Pennsylvania Paisan done great. Hey, you done great, Gino. You done great.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey,
it's good to see you, AJ.
You too, Gene. You know you're the most famous referee / TV guy out there. So, yeah, appreciate you coming on.
Okay, let's talk about this. Gene, let's talk about this. And there's a reason for that. You're the most famous because you're the best at it. This is kind of how it goes, one hand in hand. You are going to deflect that and talk about everybody else and how great of a ref your dad was and your brother is and fuck all that. You are the man, okay? You are one of one. And when the league lost you, it was a big hit. But now that you're on TV, it feels like you get to talk more and more. I think this is good for the fans to hear you speak. Is that something that's planned, or is that just your relationship with Jim and Tony?
I think it's a combination of both. Being in the press box with Jim and Tony in real time, right? It's so much different than when I'm in studio. You don't have to go through those different channels to get on air. And truly, their confidence in me, the atmosphere and the vibe in there in these last 3 games, especially because I don't get to be with them week in and week out. It's an amazing feeling and real comfortable. They've been great with me, and we don't want to be on air that much, right? I mean, if I'm talking too much, it means that there's too many things that are relating to officiating occurring. So. I'll sacrifice some airtime for a well-officiated game.
I think we all would, but whenever it's going south, I appreciate the fact that you'll say, probably shouldn't have called this one here. I wouldn't have seen it. Yeah. But obviously, you're getting the slow-motion replay to judge from. Yeah. In real life, you're able to make those calls, too. Go ahead, AJ.
Gene, what do officials believe, I guess, out there on the field? I know back when I would ask officials during a replay, I'd say, hey, what do you think here? And they would tell me, I just want to get it right. We just want to get it right no matter what it is. Is that like, do refs, are they offended if they goes to replay? Do they want to be right? Like, how does it work, do you think, in the hierarchy of their priorities? Like, hey, I want to be right on the first. I don't want replay to mess this up.
Yeah. Well, I evolved through it, right? So when I started in the league, replay wasn't nearly as big as it is now. Also, the majority of officials now in the NFL, the ones that have been hired in the last 8 or 9 years, they dealt with replay at the college level where I didn't. There was no replay when I worked college football. You had to make the call, right? So you were a little more aggressive. You didn't officiate kind of safe on certain plays, thinking that, hey, replay can bail me out. Look, it's a pass fumble. You got to make the call. There's no challenge here. There's no replay. So as kind of as it evolved, reluctantly, I will say the old timers were against that, right? You want to work the game. You want to have the pressure to know that what I decide to do in this split second is real, and that's why I'm here, right? I mean, that's a level of your confidence you have to survive in that atmosphere. Now, as replays evolved, and we know there are certain plays, regardless of how good you are, you get screened, there's an angle, this thing isn't split second time. Then when replay started to kind of evolve to get those kind of plays right, yeah, that's what you want. You want what's right for the game, AJ, right? I mean, that's who we're accountable to. And you want the game to be played correctly based on the actions that happen. Now, at some point, though, does replay start becoming, getting a mind of its own? And I think we're kind of working into that area right now.
So I don't want to just point out one thing that isn't the NFL, but if you look back on that Michigan TCU game on that touchdown, that long ball, replay was able to just pause when it seemed like the football was in his hands. He was past the line, goal line, and then all of a sudden, if you actually run the replay the rest of the way, he bobbles it again. He never had possession, but at that one still frame, ball in hand, touchdown. I guess there is certainly those types of situations, but even you can agree, maybe. I don't know. I guess I'll ask you, hey, 59 million people watching at its peak, Chiefs Bengals, and the entire internet, and obviously the internet is what it is, but the internet should be taken seriously because it is at least a focus group of what people are actually thinking. The refs have not been a topic of discussion all year. It is not. There's been a couple weeks where we let off shows going, these refs seemingly. In years past, it's every single week. This year, it seems like they kind of been staying out of it. Then, Chiefs, Bengals, I mean, it is the discussion. The game's rigged. These refs are making plays or making calls so they can benefit the league and what the storyline is. That can't happen, right, Gene? That can't be happening. How do we get it better, Gene? How do we get it better?
Listen, I got to be a little bit blunt here on that one. That's not even a topic I can even discuss. I can't even think into that world. Let it live in the social sphere it lives in. That conspiracy, controversy stuff.
How do we fix it, though, Gene? Gene, how do we fix it?
You got to get better, Patty, right? It's like anything else. You just have to get better. What you said about the Michigan play, right? I don't like the fact that we're reviewing plays frame by frame. Catches look like somebody's had the ball for a light year when they haven't had the ball for a second. There's 200-plus frames per second. So, review plays at 25%, 30% slower than real time. And if it doesn't jump off the screen at you from that point on, move on. It's not a big enough play to overturn. I think we're in that a little bit, overly technical, right? So some of that gets in your head too. You're trying to get a play right in real time. Now you get reviewed in this frame-by-frame world where you know what you saw was ball movement. He doesn't possess the ball. I've got a feel for that out there. Now we go upstairs. They're click by click, 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 click. All of a sudden it's changed. It gets in your psyche a little bit. Now you're a competitor. So now how do I get to that level to get that right? Or do I become less aggressive, right? Because I'm apprehensive on that. So is there that climate or culture feeling? I think that's a possibility. So it's this fluid navigation right now of where we go with technology. Expedited review. What's an expedited review as opposed to a challengeable play? When is it clear and obvious after the second replay that now we can come in and just change it? Should we change the challenge format as a result of that? The Philly play is the play. That's the play. That's the review I lived the last 10 years, right? Long pass, some smoke right out of the gate, but don't see the ball, right? That's how I live now. I watched the play. I was in the TV truck getting ready to go upstairs when that play hit. So you see him land, never see the ball. He's in that crumble mode. So that's smoke because I just didn't see the ball. Okay, so guess what the offense is going to do? They're going no huddle. They're running 40 yards, right? Keeping the same defensive package in. Also knowing if they go no huddle, no defensive substitute, no match, no 6 seconds of matching time to get the third replay up. So the chess match begins right in that 5 seconds. They get up there. It's early in the game. Does Coach Shanahan want to throw now? Because if I don't get this with right, no matter what happens, I only have one more right or wrong after that. So now this whole element comes into play. And, this play, that's smoke, right? There's smoke there. All right, so now I'm looking if I'm replay. But I also only have 5 or 6 seconds. So TV can't bring in 2 or 3 more angles than that before the snap occurs.
We thought when Devontae got up and started doing the hand signal that maybe that would cue Shanahan to throw the challenge flag because the only person that seemingly knew, including camera operators and everybody in the stadium, would have been Devontae on whether or not he caught it. So I don't think that's the big one.
Yeah.
The big one from the weekend, Gene, is the 3rd and 9. A 3rd and 9 replay, especially fourth quarter, 3rd down is the money down. They get a stop, they're off the field. Then that ref, we did see from the wide shot, that ref did come out beforehand, wanted to fix the clock. Can you go through the protocol of that? Because if that play goes off without a hitch, none of the players know that there's a fuck up with the clock. None of the coaches know that. Why didn't the ref just fix that afterwards? Is that something he could have done or no?
Yeah, front end. Let me just hit that real quick now, and I mean this seriously. You don't lose seconds in the NFL when you're reffing, okay? We don't lose seconds. If the clock is running and it's not supposed to run, you shut this thing down. We don't lose seconds. We're not going to have a 20-second little blurb there where, hey, it's not a big, the game. We still have a lot of time. No. Seconds mean everything. You stop the game. Now, in the real progression of that whole thing, you got to rewind back when the incomplete pass occurs. The ball was set ready for play, right? So the team's in the huddle. They break the huddle. All of a sudden, an official comes in to move the ball. So then they reset the ball right there after that. This is before what you're showing right now. So they move the football. They readjust it. Ron Torbert pumps the play clock back up to 25 because they had to adjust the ball. Now he chops the ball ready for play, and either he winds, I believe he was quoted that he didn't wind, but at some point then, mental breakdown, clock operator starts the game clock. That's after an incomplete pass. Now, when that occurs, officials need to see that, right? So even though they highlight this downfield official, who is an amazing official, I grew up working with him, that is not his responsibility as a primary job in between downs. That responsibility occurs to one of the line judge on the field. But this official, even though he went through all of the things that he does in between downs, right? Is there a substitution? 11 on defense, huddle breaks. I got the widest receiver. Is he being press covered? That's what he's going through in his progression. But he's good enough to also look and see, is the play clock all right? Is the game clock running or not? He's extra help. So that's why he starts coming in late, because that's not his thing. Someone else had a mental breakdown. There were multiple levels of concentration breakdown in a 20-second window there, right? So my thing, though, is, look, it was loud in there. I've been into some loud stadiums, Seattle, NFC championship games where you couldn't touch your ears for 2 days. It hurt so bad, the noise. So whether he's blowing or whether he's not blowing there, I can't tell you that. But you have to keep coming, because what happens now when the play finishes now, right? You know how we see late false starts being called and the play's halfway down and someone's running in the backfield killing it, because we can't let this finish. Because we could have an unnecessary roughness penalty occur on a play that didn't occur. We got to enforce it. So once he commits, now everybody's got to echo. It's like having an inadvertent whistle. You don't want to have it, but we got to shut this down. That is it. And then reset. Don't let the play finish. So optically, administratively, there's just no excuse. The officials will be the first to tell you, you cannot have concentration breakdowns at any level, at any game. That's part of what we do. When that occurs now, then it seemed like things started to spin fast. This play's occurred. They rehuddled again. I don't know if they're communicating with someone or not on now, how do we put this back, or what's the best decision, right, to do here? Do we do what you said? Look, in my backyard, that's what I'm doing.
Yes, exactly.
You know what I mean? Hey, guys, no, go back and rewind with all your technology. That was a 17-second play, right? Go back to 10:26 or whatever it was. Deduct 17, and then we're going again. That's what common sense is telling you to do, right? Yeah, that's in my backyard. That's not at Kansas City in that moment, and you're looking now for help in a situation that truly I don't believe I can remember a do-over, right?
Oh, yeah.
I just don't remember it. I don't remember that. So now you make another decision of how we're going to try to fix this. And then that decision's made.
Is that on Ron, or is that somebody in his ear telling him that this is what we should do?
I can't say one way or the other, Pat, right? I mean, I know that there is more communication now than there's ever been. I was not privy to that level of communication. Hey, move the ball, or good spot, or this or that. Maybe that's occurring to assist some of that administration now. Back in my day, you just got together at 7 and looked at each other like, yo, we got a serious issue right now. How do we work through this, and what's the best way to work through it? Because I know one thing, I got the white hat on. No matter what we do, I'm in trouble for the rest of the week. I'm going to be on the phone till Thursday. So one of you other 6 Jahashes, tell me what I need to do right now so we can at least, so we can get through this thing, right? And at least make it. This is what's hard, right? Again, like what AJ was saying, you want to get it right. We can't get it right now, right? We can't get it right now. So what is the best thing in a reactionary time to get it as close to right again? And now they make that decision. Guess what? Next play, defensive hold. Yeah. Good call. Solid call. Solid call. Don't pass on the call because we think, oh, we gave so-and-so an unfair advantage. No, foul. We're back to where we just left. Whether what we did for the last 3 minutes you liked or not, that's defensive holding, okay? It's also no points, but you guys live the world. It's another series. It's another 2 minutes of game time. Field position changed. Momentum wavered. And in those games, you know it, fellas. Like every snap, it just elevates in that place. Every snap of that game is like the biggest play of the game until the next snap. So that was affected. So again, in an official's world, like I would come home knowing this was just a tainted game. And I had something to do with it not finishing or going in the way it needed to. So,
I think there's never going to be a perfect game from the officials. Obviously, you guys are striving for that, but there's so many, judgment calls and everything like that. And fans are never going to think that the refs do great. But whenever that stuff happens with 59 million people watching in a season on the line, especially in the AFC Championship game, it's like, damn, how do these people get picked for these roles? Like Carl Sheffers is the ref for the Super Bowl. His crew was the most flag-happy crew of the year. This is what's being reported now. It's all-star crews, right? These are the best refs. Who's scoring that? Who's judging that? And does the NFL know that, hey, like on the Super Bowl, 150 million, we cannot have what just took place in the AFC Championship? Is that something that's being talked about, or is it just assumed?
No, that's what's being talked about. Okay. I mean, because that's reality, right? I mean, this is reality. And as you said, this isn't Carl Sheffers' crew. This is a selection that goes through a very detailed grading process, I'm sure very similar. And I mean this humbly, maybe even more meticulously than you guys were graded in your game film when you sit down and watch every play from 4 angles.
Nice.
And they'd meticulously.
I didn't know that, Gene. Right? That happens every week?
Every single week, every single play from at least 3 camera angles and possibly a close-up angle if you got a hit on a quarterback. So we watch coaches tape sideline, coaches tape end zone, TV cut, and then possibly ISOs on that play if it needs even more scrutiny. So, look, I was downgraded by the Skycam a couple times. How do you get downgraded by the Skycam? How do you respond to that grade? You say, look, put me on a wire and fly me over the stadium. I can get that play. But I can't get that play from 12 yards. I can't see. There's 700 pounds of humanity in between. But that's the reality of it. That's the level of scrutiny that we went through. Grading in the NFL and that work-through process was a 6 to 8 hour process every week, no matter what. You responded to every play, and that's the way that world works. So
who is it grading? Who is it grading, Gene? And
selection, you know what? There's I don't know the exact number. I'll tell you, there's between 8 and 10 retired officials or people in those positions, right, that are looking. Every position has a trainer that more than likely was a long-time official or someone of that magnitude in that position. So there's multiple levels of evaluation, and within that, that is where you split the difference into who works what categories. Super Bowl refs always come out of the division round. Okay, so when you guys watch round 2 after the wild card, that crew will come out of those games that are played in the divisional round. It's the only group of playoff officials that work twice during the postseason, right? Wild cards, you work your wild card game, you're gone. Championships, you might be an alternate in the wild card round. You're down there on the field on the sideline. You work the championship. You work on the field in the divisional. 7 of you are going to go work the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. We just don't know who at that point, right? So that's how that breakdown occurs as far as postseason assignments.
Got it. Go ahead, AJ.
Gene, what are your thoughts on creating these all-star teams of refs instead of just keeping them with the crew that they've worked with all year long and they feel comfortable with?
It's a great question, AJ. I was always an advocate of I want to go into battle with my best people at that time. Because you have to understand, too, through the course of a season, right, there are 17 crews in the NFL. Those 17 crews are made up of 1 or 2 officials on that crew that may have 6 years or less experience. You want to bookend that official on the sideline with somebody downfield or upfield from him or her that might have 15-plus years so that you're mentoring while the game goes. So you have to spread experience and match that as the season goes so that you can put out a consistent product on all 17 games with those different levels involved there. And within that evolution during the season, hopefully, that's how the youth and less experienced official is gaining a lot of game management experience because they're in proximity of someone that's doing that. Now, when we get to, we're playing now to go get this trophy, okay? I want my top 6 people. Truthfully, I'm old school. I loved the Final Fours back when I was a kid. The same 2 or 3 guys would work 3 of the next 5 Final Fours. Yep, that's your window. Yes. Go get that. You know what I mean? And when 1 or 2 retire, then 1 or 2 you get a chance to get in that mix because that's who lives at that altitude within the staff. So with that experience,
what is it? Fairness? Is that the fairness thing? Like the divisional round and wild card round and then championship round. It's like, who's our best refs? Let's have them out there for every game possible.
That's my basketball mentality, Pat. That's kind of where I live, right? But we also have to understand that there's only 17 individuals in each position in the NFL working that level of football in the world. 10 of you need to be those people. That's why you're on this stage to begin with. So are they interchangeable parts? No. But do we need to have that level of officiating prowess to have that pool to choose from? Yeah. But if we're all talking about, hey, we want to see the same 3 guys every time or gals, then that just means our team's we're not deep. Yeah. We can't, you know what I mean? Look, you don't want to go into any game with, I got nobody behind me here. Don't get hurt, Pat.
Well, the Colts, we only had one. We did not have a lot of depth. That's why we were bad on special teams. But that's the way the team was built there.
Those were probably not real successful years.
Yes. Well,
they aren't.
All right, relax.
Just tell them.
Gene,
I said probably.
Yeah, a guy out of Moon Township has a question for you. AQ Shipley.
My man,
Gene, how we doing?
What's up, AQ? How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Hey, offensive holding has become a big microscope on the internet right now. I think it's the hardest thing to call, right? Because you could call it every play if you wanted to. You really could. You could call it every single play. Can you talk a little bit about what they're looking at and if they're scanning or if they're watching individual people or kind of how the whole offensive holding is broken down?
That's a great question. I'll do it real quick in 2 parts.
Yep.
Referee and umpire, both on offensive backfield, split the interior line on the side of the field that they're on. So referee's on the right hand always in the offensive backfield. He works right guard, right tackle. Umpire works center, left guard, left tackle. Sweep away from me if they sweep left or run wide left with me. I'm working those backside people, looking to the second level to see the blocking on linebackers going to that second level. If it's play side, I work from the inside out, start with the guard, get to the tackle, because my outside official's working from the tight end back in. So we're bookending that play and covering it. Now, relating to the level of how you apply the art of when is it really a hold or when it isn't, that's the art of officiating, right? So, yeah, is there restriction on every play? Yes, there is. Is he holding him within the framework of his body, right? The defense is not outside the frame. He's basically happy to be there while he's just getting jammed, stock blocked and jammed. And now when he tries to get out of that tight restriction, which is fine, right? I'm inside of you. My feet aren't beat. I'm owning you. And now you try to swim, move me, get to my edge, and now you restrict me outside of your frame. Now we're in that place where it rose to a level of now, is it a foul or not, right?
Gene, this is the play that's being talked about. Obviously, there's 2 parts to this. Everybody's talking about the holds that are happening. 2 of them before he even starts to run. Left tackle, right guard. Either of these holds, if we're to break down in slow motion, wasn't called live into play.
Yeah. The left tackle play, I think the initial thing, if we watch the initial charts from the left tackle play, the defense comes in hard, then he dips a little bit. It's almost like he's going to attempt a rip, but he doesn't, and the tackle gets on top of him for a second. I wouldn't call that because defense initially put himself there, but then we get engaged. Then we're locked. Now when Patrick starts to roll to the right, now he continues to restrict on that shoulder, which doesn't allow that defender to kind of get away from that restriction to start pursuing. So to me, in that level, that's when it rose to, okay, now we have a hold, right? But it's at the end. This first dip by 91, that's a dip. Now I got a half rip. Now I'm holding. Now I'm trying to get away, and I had the restriction. Is he going to get there? More than likely not, but he's close enough in proximity of Mahomes at this point right here when he starts to break back to his right, that now that hand outside on the shoulder pad, he's out of the frame. He's trying to now pursue to the defender's left, and that restriction now has elevated to where now, again, slow motion breaking down, he's materially affecting that defender's ability to continue to make the play he should.
How about right guard? How about right guard there?
Give me that one. Let me run it back. I'll break it down for you without my bifocals right now.
Atta baby, Gino.
And look, it looks like half rip, and then he's starting to ride. See, if the defender put himself in that rip and just starts to ride while he's got pressure on the inside of that tackle, unless he can really beat his feet, and you'll watch if you roll back to the beginning of what appears to be a rip. Right now, go ahead forward. When you see the dip now, okay, defender, you put that right arm of that offensive player around you. He didn't go hook you around the neck, right? Okay, but you better beat him now and get ahead of him. Get north to the quarterback for me to then say that guy got to drop. Right about there is when it does occur. So it's kind of in that blended mode right there, right? So in that world we live. And really then, these are the mental snapshots when you're in the game and watch that play maybe happen 10 times this game. You and that umpire need to know what you have called, what you have allowed, and for players and coaches and for the game, you have to be on the same page to know we're letting that go today.
And now
or we're calling that today.
Hey, fourth quarter,
right?
14 seconds left, too. That's a big time. And a lot of people get pissed off about a ref making any call there. Like, hey, let the players decide whether or not this is. Swallow the whistle is what you hear a lot of players say. Let the players do the thing. But then at the end of the play here, Gene, end of the play obviously becomes the late hit, heard round, literally the world. He was clearly out of bounds. Have to call this, Gene?
Got to call it. Yeah, got to call it, Pat. This is 2 feet in the white. Look, Osai is hustling, right? You guys know how quick this occurs, but at this point, this isn't one of those tiptoes, a tiptoe, and right before his foot hits the white, he gets blown up. 1, 2, boom, I'm finishing you. It has to be called. That's just a foul. That's a foul the first play of the game. It's a foul the last play of the game. That's where that play has to live.
Yeah, his right foot's out, left foot out. Well, they said he's hovering. He's not necessarily there. It's like, and he's a quarterback, you know? Is there
look, the one that used to bother me a little bit, not bother me, that was hard for me, and it's with the younger quarterbacks, the Lamar Jacksons, my day, Michael Vicks, those ones, Cam. They would start up the sideline, right? And then try to get that extra 1 more yard as they go north and south, and we don't know if he's in or out, and now all of a sudden that foot just hits in the white and he gets blown up. I wouldn't call that. You know what I mean? Because you're trying to get out of bounds. This is an insignificant yard. Don't be tight-roping here, and then your foot just hits the white and you get blown up. And you want me to what now? Protect that? No, go out of bounds. Leave the yard for the next down. Don't put me in that box. I'm not protecting you there. That would deter, hopefully, right? The quarterback the next time you got to that place to go, I got no love about 3 minutes ago. It hurt. I'm just going to go out. Made my life a little easier then.
Gene,
right?
you were also very vocal with everybody and communicated with everybody, which I think is a massive part of the whole managing the game, which some guys can't do. AJ has a question for you, Gino.
Speaking of being vocal, Gene, what we have seen happen a few times lately, we know they don't like kickers getting that free kick in if they're getting iced, if they're calling this timeout.
Yeah, what you guys do?
We've seen multiple refs go in there, sprint in, knock the ball down, and then kind of peacock around the backfield like, yeah, you're not practicing today, buddy. Like, Is that a directive from the front office? Like, why are they jumping in there? Someone's gonna get hurt.
You know what? If it is, it wasn't when I was around, AJ. I'm not jumping in there. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody, Patty, I know I watched you punt a lot of years.
Come on.
If you showed a slow motion replay of what happens to a football when a leg like yours initially hits it, I don't want to be 3 feet from where that football left your foot because that thing's coming.
Yes.
Like, that's not a snowball down here back in South Park throwing a little fluffer out. You know what I mean? That thing's coming out like a bullet to you, and I'm not taking that. I bruise now. I'm old. I bruise easy. I'm not going in there, AJ. I'm letting him kick it.
Hey, what was the it does feel like that is something that happens because we would definitely talk about getting a mulligan and getting an extra kick. Like, if they're going to call a timeout late, now that's their coach's prerogative, right? The coach is strategically waiting for you to get close so he can battle with you mentally so then the next time you don't know if you're going. That's a part of their strategy. Well, if you call it late and we get a snap off, we're getting a mulligan too. And then it became something. Is that special teams coordinators bitching about that? Which also leads to the foreign object being brought on the field about the spot. Like, is that all special teams coordinators bitching, or how did we get here? How do we get here, Gino?
Well, the follow through. See, I was on both sides of the fence with when I would see it. I would think like, but I don't have a good 9-iron either. Like, what if you hit that practice one and you just like really shanked it?
Yeah.
Like, would that be worse? You know what I mean? Like, you did follow through, but you like duffed it. Like, it was bad. I don't know if that helps you for the next one. So I get the mulligan. So I always played both sides and just figured just let it happen and we'll get to the next play. It was like goaltending, right? When you call the shooting foul and he still lets the jumper go and the guy goes up and rejects it. Like, you're not going to watch it go through the hoop. I don't care as a foul. They do the same thing in hoops. So I always let that go too. Now that little piece of paper or that little, I saw that happen a few times out there, and it's not permitted, and it shouldn't be permitted. Just put your finger down and kick the football now. You're in the National Football League, bro. If you got to come out with a piece of Scotch tape stuck to your calf and rip a couple, leg hairs off to stick a white piece of paper down so I can get my kick off, then you got to go back and work on your psychology and get through that. Tell him to put his finger down and kick the ball.
Gene, you're the absolute best. We can't thank you enough for joining us, man. The league lost out whenever you stopped officiating. You were incredible. You're a great pioneer for officiating. I think you're a great face of the NFL, and we're very happy you're getting a lot of face time on CBS. You're the absolute man, Paisan. We're all incredibly proud of you and thankful for you.
Thanks, Patty. Thanks, guys. It's great to see you. Big Diggs, I hope I see you at the next softball outing down in southwestern PA some point, my friend.
Listen, if you're umping first base in your full ref costume with a yellow flag, I will be there, my friend.
Is that happening?
You challenge it, Diggsy. Diggsy wanted to challenge. I think Cam Hayward hit one 480 feet, and Diggsy said it was outside of the pole. He was looking for the red flag. He said, dump the flag. I want to challenge that.
Do you ever put the old uniform on at night, look in the mirror and say, I still got it? If they were to pay more than these TV people would, I'd get back on the field.
I can't do, but I got to tell you, got to push back a little on that money grab thing now. Don't forget, I was working 75 or 80 Division I basketball games while I was doing a little NFL too. So, although I've been compensated very well, I truly did leave this game to try to help this fraternity. That's the truth. Awesome. And for family reasons and lack of, the travel. It was 30 years on the road, man, 180 days a year. It's time to kick back, enjoy it on the back end a little bit, but try to recruit in all seriousness. And you said it earlier.
Former players, we need a pipeline, right? I think, don't we, Gene?
We need to have people officiate. High school kids need to play games, right? We need to have Friday night lights. There's states in this country right now that are playing football 3 or 4 days a week because there are not enough officials to cover high school football. Okay, so, and this is what's tough, right? This is what we're talking about today. Do I want to do that? Do I want to put myself into that? So I spend an awful lot of time in that space now, and that was also a decision that, or a part of why I made the decision that I made as well. This platform and CBS has been wonderful, and they're providing me with this recognition to hopefully pay that forward for the game. We can't play without refs, right? The third team on the field or court has to be there. Not only that, they have to be good. So it's important. And we need to continue to get that message out in a positive way as much as possible. And it's the athlete's life, Pat. That's what I'd love to talk to all these college and high school young athletes is look at when you're 22, what percentage you going to play for money? Let's just be honest about it, right? But when you live an athlete's life, you are juggling your personal life, your studies, your workout, your diet, your sleep. You're doing all these multitasking things. That's one of the beauties of being a great athlete is managing that many different things. That's exactly what I did as a ref. You're managing the same types of things. And so you live the athlete's life as Father Time kicks your ass.
Well,
which is a real challenging thing athletically, brother. You know what I mean? Father Time, don't lose. That treadmill back there is not just for show.
Well, you kicked ass. You did incredible, and we're so thankful you joined us. Hopefully we'll get to talk to you soon. We love you, man. We appreciate you. Ladies and gentlemen, Gene Steratore.
Hey, Gene!
What a convo. What a convo. Yeah, I love him. All right, let's get to a break. In the middle of that convo, something happened. I mean,
something.
Did you hear that whistle just come up?
Our furnace is making a weird whistling noise.
Something just came.
Okay.
Something
Good, it's not me.
Yeah, something almost took
I thought
off.
it was Gene.
Sounds like a pencil sharpener.
Is it the Crows?
I don't know. We got to go figure it out. I don't think it's the Crows. The Crows were waiting for us this morning for some nuts. It feels like they are getting on a little bit of a routine. That's good news with the murder of Crows. We got to figure that out. We got Aaron Rodgers Tuesday on the other side of this break. Be a friend, tell a friend. Take 5.
Wow. Let me tell a tale about this little blue can. Inside there's a nectar love from here to Japan. It's a vibe, it's a time, ice cold or with lime. So sublime. This shit is divine. It's the beer of choice when you wanna rejoice. Hey yo boys, what's the noise? Hey yo boys, what's the noise? Well, us and Bud Light have made it official. We bring the stoogery, they bring delish. Feels like a genie just granted us a wish. Cause for all of us, it was love at first sip. Now be a bud, tell a bud to grab some Bud Lights. Go and Drizzly Code is what? $5 off tonight. Go and Drizzly Code is what? $5 off tonight. Cause if you're living life right and you're drinking Bud Light and you wake up in the morning and you fight the good fight, then you're doing A-okay, doing A-okay. Matter of fact, you're doing great no matter what they say. Now, be a bud, tell a bud to grab some Bud Lights. Go and Drizzly Code is wide, $5 off tonight. $5 off tonight.
Wide.
Why'd you choose college coaching?
I was coaching on the backside of the desert for a long time. I started off with youth football. We had one of the biggest programs in the country with ages 5 all the way to 14 and several teams of each age group. Name was truth. Trust in God, respect myself and others, understand I have unlimited possibilities, try my best, never give up, and honor the truth in His creed at all times.
Oh, that's a good one.
And we took the whole state of Texas and we went and played all around the country. That's what I was doing for a decade. Then I got into high school football. Then after high school, I'm just sitting there, all the kids about to go, Shiloh. Bucky had graduated from SMU. Shiloh was at South Carolina, and Shador was getting ready to go play for Coach Taggart. I started getting the call. Phone started ringing. Let me really consider that. So I interviewed on a couple of interviews and knocked them out of the park, but it wasn't the time. And I accepted the Jackson State challenge, a tremendous challenge, because I'd never been to Jackson. I'm like, HBCU, I don't really know a lot about it. Let me do my homework. And I accepted the challenge. Then Shador said, you know what, Daddy, I'm riding with you. And Shiloh like, Daddy, I'm riding with you. So now I got both my sons there and the other son doing all of social media. And it just became a wonderful thing. And being able to grab those guys, when the Bible says you're riding that staff, they comfort me. Without the guys around you, you're not going to be comforted. So I learned to put some pretty good guys around me, just like when I returned punt. If I didn't have 10 dogs in front of me blocking their butts off, I wasn't going to be proud. So I've learned to always keep some dogs around me to make sure I could go do what I'm blessed to do. And that's the formula of coaching, man. Just having some good coaches around you and we're not friends of the kids. Everybody talking about these kids are different. The kids ain't no different. Their coaches have changed. Kids ain't no different. They the same old kids. Coaches have changed. Quit pacifying these kids, and they want discipline, man. They want structure. They want to be told what to do and where to go and how to do it.
Colorado was the biggest job, biggest offer. Why?
No. Colorado was the best job and the perfect job for me because of Rick George, because of the AD, because of his spirit and what he spoke to me. He touched me, man. I was offered more money, of course, but money don't move me. Connectivity and the spirit and being in the right place and doing the right thing, that's what moves me and motivates me. If money was it, shoot, I'd have lost this a long time. You don't come to work because of the money. You come to work because you love doing what you're doing and the money seems to follow you. That's been my formula. I've sat in all three seats. I've been the kid on the couch. I've been the parent right next to the kid on the couch. Now I'm on the other side and the coach that you're talking to. So it's not nothing that I don't understand about this process. You want it prime, that's what you're going to get. I don't know how to dress it up and flip it no other way. I got to be me. I got to be me unapologetically. I'm going to be me.
Hey, we have issues with that with some companies because of that. I assume you've run into that case as well. Yeah.
I'm right back out of there. They should have Googled me, did your homework, and asked a few questions because I'm going to be me.
Hey, I saw a ball last night, no laces. Is that normal?
Yeah, I also threw a sidewinder, a helicopter ball out to Jonesy. I don't know how he caught it. We were going in the red zone. And the ball got snapped to me, and it just said, I don't know if Josh's hand was wet or if the ball didn't get wiped off, but it got to me. I didn't have laces. I was trying to throw out in the flat, and it was like just totally slick. And I threw this absolute sidewinder helicopter out to him. And, classic Jonesy, just like, meh, easy catch, 5 yards.
It was Dobbs' first little out or whatever. And you had time from the side, can you go back to the beginning of that? From the side angle, from the full play, you had time to adjust that if you wanted to. You just apparently did not. You don't care? Is that a thing? You just don't, it's all about your grip? It doesn't matter where the ball is?
Yeah, on that play, and that's cool. I didn't actually know that. But on that play, we had a little 3-man combination to the right side we have motion. And a lot of times on that play, the back's coming across, so he's not a part of the 3-man side. But a lot of times on that play, you kind of just catch it trying to get the ball out. Christian run down the sidelines. You got Joe in the flat, and Allen was snapping up at 5 yards. So you're trying to really get the ball out quickly. And Dobbs is actually number 4 in the progression on the backside. So I probably just was thinking, oh, this ball's going to the flat right away, so I'm going to catch it and get the ball out as quick as possible. And then sometimes, that doesn't happen. You come back and find a way to throw an accurate ball without the laces. But that's why, a lot of the pre-practice work that I do is all this. I can never throw the ball with the laces in pre-practice. And there's plays, reps during practice and drill work that you do this stuff because you never know what's going to come up in the game, and that's a cool clip. I'm glad you guys got that. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're thankful for NFL Film sending it over, and the angle is perfect because it's literally right down there. And as soon as I saw it, we were watching all the clips that we have every single morning. Foxy brings it over, and we watch through it. And I just see the laces just staring. And I remember back in the day, there was a couple quarterbacks, Nate Davis, I think, of Ball State. Whenever he was making a transition in the NFL, it was literally the only conversation. This guy doesn't throw with the laces. This guy doesn't throw with the laces. And then I see the best thrower of a football of all time having time, not using laces, and I'm like, how come that's there? I'd never known that about you. So you're telling me you no look and no lace?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, I just found that out. I didn't know you could throw the ball pretty good.
Yeah, crazy.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Dan in Connecticut. Lovely place here on the 5 Energy phone line. What's going on, Dano?
Oh, what's up, Pat McAfee?
Dan, you are too young to listen to this show. I can tell through, I think, how old?
I'm not Dan. I am Owen.
Mitt. Owen, how old are you?
It's so different.
I am at 8.5.
Oh, that's cute.
8.5.
If you're telling us you're half age, you're too young to be listening.
That's a record.
It stinks.
What's on your mind, pal?
What do you want to talk about, Owen?
I want to talk about how inspiring this show is and how you're inspiring this whole entire world with how you're talking about sports and how you're talking about your life experience.
Thank you, Owen.
Owen, thank you.
Love you, Owen.
Thank you, Owen. I'm taking her on
and
the
also, fuck Boston College.
You're the best. Owen, you're the best. I will let Owen know, if you're still listening, Owen, you're inspiring.
Best kid ever.
Owen, the way you talk about sports is inspiring.
Yes.
I didn't know 8.5 could do that.
Wow.
Shout out Owen.
That time.
Go, Owen.
Hey, Owen. New generation in Connecticut, I guess.
He was making me feel good, too, by the way. He was making me feel good, making the show feel good. He was talking us up. He was hyping us up, and then boom, a little...
Was this Aristotle's brother?
A little misdirection from Aristotle's brother, Owen, at 8.5 there. That was awesome.
I'd say he put his balls on your forehead, but I don't think they dropped yet. So.
Hey,
why?
Let's go.
This
This show fucking stinks. And the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
AJ, you never cease to amaze me with your toxicity, pal.
You got a couple of these?
God damn it! What the fuck are you doing?
Fuck Boston
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to our humble abode, the FanDuel Thunderdome, on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 31st, 2023. Hour 3 starts right now.
Football
is in the middle of purgatory. The Pro Bowl is this weekend, and the Superb Owl is next weekend. Woo! Obviously, there's only 2 teams left, the team out of Philadelphia and the team out of Kansas City, Missouri. We cannot wait to chat about it all. We will be live from Radio Row starting next Monday all the way through Friday. Cannot wait to see who we run into, who we chat with. Speaking of chatting with, I get to chat with these dudes every single day. The Toxic Table at Boston Connor, at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, Tone Diggs. 12-year NFL vet, a man who has won a Super Bowl as a coach and as a player. Ladies and gentlemen, AQ Shipley. And joining us live from an attic in Ohio is a man who is obviously a college football national champion, a Super Bowl champion, a Ryder Cup champion, and COVID survivor, father of 10, AJ Hawk. And joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, in preparation for his big-time golf tournament, a truncated edition of this particular program, one that we all look forward to every single week, our favorite day of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, 4-time NFL MVP, the COVID MVP, the former or current quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Ladies and gentlemen, Aaron Rodgers.
Yay!
Wow.
What's up, guys?
You look like you're on a movie set right now, dude. You look wonderful. Where are you, pal?
I am in the tailor-made trailer here, getting some a new driver fitted for me.
Oh, how do we feel? We bombing it right now, or are we finding the stroke?
Great. I've played one time since August, so my game is dialed.
Yeah, but isn't that what you did whenever you did the match and you showed up and you drained that 15-foot left to right putt to win the whole thing? That was like your first time playing in a year. You're better that way, aren't you?
Well, it wasn't my first time playing in a year.
Pretty much. You came straight out of fucking Hungary or whatever. I mean, you were straight out, right onto the course, right on national television.
Had to get tatted up.
Sick tat, too. That was a sick tat. All right, we won't waste much of your time. We thank you for joining us. Obviously, you're in preparation of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, one that you're able to play in for the first time in a long time. We think you're going to do great.
Go get him.
We think you're going to do great. Let's dive right in here. Have you thought about football much, or has everything been geared towards the Pebble Beach Pro-Am and still trying to figure out your life? Where are you right now as we sit at this exact moment?
I haven't been thinking about much of anything, to be honest, and it's been great. I've been enjoying my time off. I had a little trip out to Nashville to see Randall Cobb and my godson for his birthday, and I got to run into that Bakhtiari clan. So I got to see Dave. He looks heavy, I will admit. He's definitely put on some lbs in his recreation time. He assures me that they'll come off pretty quickly, but he looks a little bloated right now. He says it's some of the baby weight that's just coming off now, but great to see him and his brothers and his sister and his brother-in-law. It's just every time you go to a Bakhtiari event, you know it's going to be a good time.
That's fantastic. I'm happy to hear you're enjoying yourself. Good, AJ?
Did you swing by the facility and talk to Coach Vrabes at all while you're down there about possibly joining the Titans next year? That seems to be floating around out there.
I didn't. I was out of cigarettes, so I didn't even conversation starter to hit up Vrabes. But yeah, I was all out of Black and Mild, so I didn't think I had an entry point in order to start a convo with him.
Could you imagine if Vrabes is smoking Black and Milds or anything like instead of just Marlboros, which I thought it was? Him out at Tahoe coming back from the round with 4 fucking patches in, throwing the cigarette thing away and hitting a vape at the same time. I'm like, this guy is a fucking legend. Do you still have raw land down there in Nashville, or do you have a house down there now?
That's the rumor, but, just picking up on something you just mentioned, he might not be the only coach that likes to vape.
Oh.
There was that video of another coach possibly doing a little vaping on the sideline as well.
I think that was a marker. I think it was a marker, but McDaniel did seem
I like I like the vape story better. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. That's what AJ always says.
Agreed. And when he came into our studio in Indianapolis when he was in town for the Combine, I would have thought maybe he did have a couple vapes. Not the nicotine variety. The other variety because of how fantastic.
DMT vapes?
Maybe.
DMT vapes,
Maybe.
A-Rod, and that what floats in your circles? They have those, right?
I didn't hear what he said.
DMT.
DMT vape pens.
Yeah, they got them.
Do they really? They have DMT vapes?
I don't have one. They do, yeah. I don't have one, but I've heard they yeah.
That's upset of the century. You don't have one. That they exist, I think. Don't you think?
I agree, yes.
I feel like
we need to remedy that. Is that what you're saying? Need to remedy that?
Well, I think at the Pro-Am, there's probably going to be numerous people that go like, hey, heard on Tuesday, didn't have one of these, got one of these, got one of these. I'm excited to hear it. So you haven't thought about football much, huh? Just been trying to enjoy life, kick back and relax and see what everything's cooking?
No, of course I thought about football. I watched the games this weekend. The second one was enjoyable. Obviously, the first one, Purdy going down, didn't have anywhere near the same type of excitement. But that you watch that game, you let your mind drift off to what it would be like to still be playing, and all those thoughts come back to you. And then, then you come up to Pebble Beach, and you're like, oh, this part of life's pretty amazing. Doing things like this more often. So, look, it's going to be a little bit more time for my decision, and I feel confident that in a couple of weeks I'll feel definitely more strongly about one of the two decisions.
Okay, so you have to make your decision. And every time we talk about anything that could potentially take place with you, because of obviously you've earned this chatter from around the NFL with how great you are as a football player, you have to still decide whether or not you want to play football. That's a real thing still happening, right?
That is a real thing, yes.
Like weighing heavy on your mind still, like a real battle? Like are we doing pros and cons on a dry erase board, or is it just a gut instinct thing that's still happening?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say weighing heavy. I don't think that's the right description of it. I would say, when you've played as long as I have, and you like to recap and each week, the things that happened, and you enjoy journaling and different things. I think it's important to look at the tone of those things and where your mind is in these. When you get away from it, because that's you have to get away from the emotion of it, and that's why I always think I can't make a decision until after the Super Bowl at the earliest, because there's still football going on. Number one. Number two, it ain't about me. It's about the Chiefs and the Eagles still playing and the great season that they've had.
Respect.
But I think you got to be cognizant of what was going through your mind during the season. Did you enjoy the grind as much? Did you enjoy practice? Did you enjoy the meeting time? Did you enjoy the routine? And not forget about those feelings and make an emotional response either way. I think that's important. So, listen, I'll answer the questions that you give me, but it's not something that's on my mind 24/7. It's not on my mind that much at all, to be honest with you. It's just settling into this part of the end of January and February and contemplating, my life, for the next few months, and then trying to see if football fits into that.
All right, enjoy the hell out of yourself. You've earned it. You deserve it. So how do you see this going? You have to figure out what you want to do, and then your first call is to the Packers, and then you let them know what you're thinking, and then they said that we'll let you know what we're thinking, and then that's kind of how the whole process will unfold, you think?
I think so. I mean, it sounds like there's already conversations going on that aren't involving me, which are interesting. Honestly, I've been insulated to a lot of that. Like I said, I was in Nashville, and then I'll be up here, this week playing in the tournament. So I'm not a part of those conversations right now. When I make up my mind one way or another, then you guys and Packers, not in that order, and everybody else will know at some point.
Okay, cool. Excited for you to go through your whole process. Ty has a question for you.
Yeah, Aaron, just curious if you heard about it. I mean, I'm sure you have, but maybe you haven't if you've just been enjoying yourself. But I think it was Romeo Dobbs went on Maggie and Perloff and said that you guys didn't hang out once outside of the facility. I don't think he meant anything by it necessarily. Maybe he did, but then obviously it was the same kind of rinse and repeat this guy's a shitty teammate. No one likes him. He doesn't hang out with anyone outside of the facility. Are you at this point surprised by any of that shit? Do you pay any attention to it or any credence to it, or is it kind of just like, oh, here we go again? Any little reason for people to kind of be negative about you and shit on you, like they'll take it and run with it?
Well, it's the same. It's the same tired voices. I think for the most part, it's people that either aren't playing or weren't anywhere near my level, still trying to have a name on TV, or people that enjoy trying to run with a narrative that makes me look bad. Listen, I'm 100% attendance on every team party. I don't know that every person can say that on the squad, so that's a chance to hang out with me in those venues. I'm damn near 100% every single line dinner. We do some dinners on the road. So I feel like I spend a lot of time with my teammates, and I love that time. Now, there's obviously ones you're closer with than others. Dave and Randall are two of my closest friends on the team. I spend a lot of time with them. Bobby and Alan spent a good amount of time with them as well. Two of my closest buddies on the team. Mason Crosby, go over to his house. But what those guys have in common, especially, Mace and Dave and Randall, is they're in their 30s.
Old as fuck.
I'm 39 years old. Yeah. Like, the things that I'm thinking about and doing and spending my time doing are a little probably different than a 21 and 22-year-old. After the day is done, I'm not going home playing video games, all night and on Twitch and all these different things that young kids do, which is awesome. I mean, I have no problem with that. Hey, you spend your time wherever you want to spend it, but I'm just not maybe having the same interests. So I love Romes. I mean, I enjoy playing with Romes. I enjoyed our conversation in the room. I enjoyed seeing his personality come out. But there's two types of leaders, and there's leaders that want to be liked first and foremost and respected second. And there's leaders that want to be respected first and foremost and liked second. And I think one type of leadership makes you make decisions that are based solely in never wanting to be the bad guy. And I've just never really resonated with that type of leadership. Obviously, we all, on a human level, want to be appreciated and liked. But from a leadership standpoint in the locker room, I want to be respected. I want the guys to respect my work, to respect how I hold myself accountable and hold them accountable. And to me, that's how you model like leadership that actually sticks and lasts in this league. And I think there's been a couple people over the years that haven't been able to handle that very well. And maybe we've had bad experiences on the way out, and that's fine. That's their experience. Life is about perspective, and truth is actually wrapped up in that perspective, because our truth is going to be related to how we view the world. There's three sides to every story, though. There's yours, there's mine, and there's the truth. So we got to remember that whenever we're thinking about basically any type of story, that our perspective directly impacts the way that we view the world and the way that we feel about what is truly going on in situations. That to be said, I love my teammates and love spending time with them, and I don't give a shit about any of the other comments outside of that. It's honestly, I wouldn't hear it if it wasn't for Tom Fanning sending me some random text about what's going on. Love Tom for it, but I'm enjoying my life right now.
Yeah, he has to be the bearer of the interesting news that is circulating around your life. That is not a good position. Shout out to Tom for being the guy that has to do that. Romeo had no idea what was going to come from that. Remember, very young guy, very different than your old ass at 39. Me and Vinatieri, I think people have seen me and Vinny are tight as hell. I think whenever I was a rookie, I got in the league, he was like 36 or 37 years old. Damn. Like that, we're two very different worlds whenever you're talking about it. And I think that's a very normal thing that kind of takes place. But whenever it's Aaron Rodgers, obviously you have to bang the drum of this guy sucks. I don't know how you've lived this life as long as you have, but I'm happy it's not me, goddammit. AQ has a question for you, Aaron. 2 weeks in a row.
Whoa! Slow down.
Hey, I'll echo your sentiment. When I was 34 in my last year, I wasn't actively seeking rookies to hang out with outside of football. That's neither here nor there. The question is, Brock Purdy gets injured. Do you think it's time to maybe have another conversation with reinstating the emergency quarterback?
Yes, 100%. 100%. Because nobody wants to see it like that. Nobody wants to see 1 and 2 go down and then you don't even have a third. Now, a lot of teams, I don't know if they have a third. I don't know if did they have a third to suit up on that game day? I'm not sure if they did or not.
I don't think, no, because they're already on quarterback 4 and 5 there. You know what I mean?
Right. But that's a great point. I saw some other people mention it. I think that's 100% should be the standard. You should be able to suit up 3 quarterbacks in a game. And if all 3 go down, I mean, that's terrible luck, and it is what it is. But when 1 and 2 go down, and then you put a guy back in the game who supposedly has a UCL injury, and obviously there was a problem because they were just literally running the ball. I was thinking, can he even just loft a fade down the field?
Yeah.
The answer is no. He could throw a ball about 5 yards, probably in significant pain on a screen pass. So nobody wants to see that, especially not in the championship game. But it is what it is, and that's the way the ball bounced for both teams in that game. But I think, you make a great point. There needs to be 3 quarterbacks dressed on game day, and there shouldn't be a penalty associated with it. The NFL, it's all about the dollar, right? So if you raise the 3rd guy up, there's the rules about the, you can raise a guy up 3 times, and you got to put him on the active roster, right? So that's, if they can figure out the money thing, then they can make it work.
All right, we'll keep this truncated, obviously, which is an incredible word that I learned of this morning, and we know you're very busy, and we thank you for your time. Want to bounce away from the Purdy and the 3rd quarterback. Happy you got that. Let's go with some coaching hires that are taking place, people that you know. Nathaniel Hackett obviously goes to the Denver Broncos for a year. It does not work at all. Our sources have told us around league circles the conversation is that was not Nathaniel Hackett's problem. Nathaniel Hackett is being viewed in very high regards by everybody, which is why he got the New York Jets offensive coordinator job so quickly. Hypothetical. Hey.
Okay.
Hypotheticals. All right. Nathaniel Hackett getting a gig somewhere, or somebody that you know getting a gig somewhere, does that sway you in any thoughts if the Packers were to say we'd like to move on and you'd like to play football? Obviously, there's a lot of what ifs, but if you put yourself into that mind frame, and can you even answer that question at this point?
No, I can't. I mean, there's not a great answer I can give you. We all have certain coaches that have meant a lot to us over the years, and have created those really special rooms to play in, special feelings on game day, made the weeks better. Obviously, Nathaniel's one of those guys. I would say there's been a handful of coaches over the years who've been just on another different level. Guys who you just kind of bonded with more than other guys. And it's not a shot at any other coach you've played with. It's just
humans,
just like with teammates. Some guys you love, and some guys you love and you spend more time with them off the field. That's why having Tom back this year was so special, because Tom has always had a special place in my heart, because he was the guy that really raised me up as a young player and spent hours and hours and hours with me on fundamentals and reads and fronts and pressures and coverages and becoming an expert at the offense. So I always loved Tom, and I love spending time with Tom over the years. Luke Getsy is always going to be a close one for me, because he's just such a special guy. He was basically my same age, and I watched him, rise the ranks the right way of coaching and put in his time and be in the room with us, and we had a blast. Alex Van Pelt, one of my all-time favorites as well, just taught me how to be a CEO of the squad, how to lead in that way, and how to play fake with the best of them. Love AVP, love spending time with him off the field. Hack, same way. Love Hack. I mean, Hack's my guy. I love him, and Megan and the kids are really special to me. Like, we really bonded when he was in Green Bay. He made it fun. He made the room fun, made the weeks fun. So that, those guys are always going to be really special, and that's just a handful of people that have meant to me. But those guys have been in my room consistently, and guys you love being around. I mean, listen, I'm not sure what the future holds for me, but those are friendships, the ones I mentioned, that are going to last longer than football, and I'm really thankful for that part of the sport and what the sport gives you in that regard.
Okay, go ahead, AJ.
What makes someone a good coach? Like, what do they show that you can say, all right, yeah, this dude's a great leader, great coach? Like, what characteristics have you found?
And who should the Colts hire? So you know.
There you go.
Because hey, Woody Johnson, I don't want to say it, but I don't know.
Yeah, probably not.
That's the owner of the Jets. No offense, Jets fans, but I mean, you put that name together, add an and another one. Coach Jim Irsay, guy's got a museum, guitars, he's cool, super artsy.
Cranky.
Just something that, hey, listen, you got to make your decision. But what does it make about a coach? You're right. Good question, AJ. Good question, AJ. Good question.
Well, if anyone ever called me as a reference, one name that has been floating around out there, who I would give a ringing endorsement to, is Rich Bisaccia. I'm a tremendous fan of his. He is a prototypical leader who wants to be respected more than he's liked. And I think that from the starting point creates an accountability in whatever room you're controlling, whether that's the entire room or a position room or a phase of the game like offense, defense, and teams. And then you throw in there an incredible ability to control the room with his speech. Very thoughtful individual, very sharp, and then the love that he brings as well, I think is just such a perfect combo. So you have the accountability, you have the respect factor, you have the expectations, you have the ability to control the room, and then you have someone who shows you constantly how much he cares about you and loves you and tells you, and it's real because he's already led with the accountability and the respect. He changed that phase of our team for sure. And contrary to common thought, maybe there's not a lot of Rich Bisaccia types out there. There's not a lot of people like that. And I think in this league, that it's harder for older coaches to get jobs. I think we can all agree on that. That's not a mind-blowing statement. There's not a lot of 60-year-old guys getting head coaching jobs, right? There's fewer and fewer because most teams want to go with kind of the young up-and-coming guy. And Rich, for whatever reason, been passed over most of his career, but paid his dues, coached it everywhere you could possibly imagine. He's probably coached there. Then he went to Oakland and became the interim head coach, and he talked to those guys. I'd say they all love Rich, and they appreciate Rich, what he stood for, what he's all about. You talk to our guys in the locker room in Green Bay, everybody loves Rich. And you want to be a player's coach, though, this is the misnomer, right? And all you guys that played I guarantee you can resonate with this. You want to be a player's coach, it's not about being liked. It's about being respected. It's not about being liked, it's about being respected first. If they like you as well, that's awesome. You want to be a true player's coach, it's about the respect thing first. And Rich Bisaccia understands that to a T.
Paisan over there running special teams. Last question here about the coaching, and then we'll obviously let you go get that new driver that's going to smoke.
Hell
We're
yeah.
talking 320, 330.
Easy.
Right where you want it. Probably a little baby draw. To shout out to TaylorMade. I mean, I think that other company sent me a bunch of shit.
Yeah, the carbon wood, though.
The carbon wood. Oh, yeah.
Love that thing.
Oh, yeah, and I threw it. It was from.
Yeah.
I was
We'll get you one for Tahoe for sure.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the way AJ hits the ball out there. I gotta catch up. He's unbelievable driving a golf ball, this guy over here.
I can't believe you let him beat you last year. That was really kind of you.
Bro, did you know that he hits all those in the fairway? Like, the first time I saw him drive, I'm like, oh, sweet. I played with this guy 100 times.
My first shot of the tournament went in the water, bro. You know that. And then I skipped my second shot off the water.
Okay. Aside from that, you hit.
That was awesome, though. That was awesome.
It was sick. It was a great way to start. It was a great way to start. But the way he hits a golf ball, we've all played with this guy before. Okay, he's going to hit a fairway. Then this thing's going goodbye. Yeah. This ball's gone, or it's going to fade. He hit that thing. Every second shot was like 55 yards or whatever because he was just putting these drives all over the place. I got a sim, though. I'm working now. I'm working for next year, Aaron. I'm trying to get better.
I love it.
Do you have one? Do you work on a sim, or you just show up straight out of a tattoo and hungry and fucking beat everybody?
Yeah. I got to schedule my next tattoo, so I got to see if I can get hungry again.
Ooh, next
Where are we going? You got the same other arm.
Get your Adam's apple.
What are you getting done? Do you already have it done, or are you going to figure that out with the tattoo guy?
Yeah, we'll see. I haven't thought about it yet.
Maybe barbed wire around your bicep.
Yeah, but leave it open because your soul.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
right.
Can't have the barbed wire connecting completely.
Third eye on your forehead.
Yeah, you got to let it out. All right.
Maybe something around my belly button. We'll see. I don't know.
Oh, like Batista has that sun. He has like the sun.
Yep.
Don Batista has that. Tupac has the thug
your
life.
body double, basically, yeah.
Yeah, you could get a butt.
On the belly button?
Yeah,
just right there. Have that thing dance a little bit.
That'd be a butthole.
Yeah. You could have Elmer Fudd on your ass. Our guy Larman used to want to do this. Elmer Fudd with a gun at the butthole. Come out of there, you filthy varmint or whatever.
Yeah.
Have like a air bubble and everything.
That's pretty good.
Just want to brainstorm. If you want to brainstorm, you do what you got to do.
Yeah, keep it up. Yeah, let's brainstorm some things here at a later date for sure. But
All right, go get your driver. Go get your driver in. We appreciate you. Good luck with the whole thought process of what you're doing, and go crush Pebble Beach, dude.
I will do my best, and I can't wait to see you guys next week.
Oh.
We're keeping this rolling, man. We're keeping it rolling.
Are you coming to Radio Row?
No. I'm not a Radio Row guy.
Come on. Well, easy in, easy out. No fans. We'll have you come in the back door. You come do it live, and then boom, you're out.
Wiz did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not a coming to back door type of guy, man.
All right, respect. You do what you got to do.
Hell
Ladies and gentlemen, 4-time MVP, Pebble Beach Pro-Am winner, Aaron Rodgers. He's in the process still.
Yeah, exactly.
Rich Bisaccia. Those are some high praise for Rich Bisaccia, who's currently getting interviewed by the Indianapolis Colts, I believe.
Uh-huh.
Did he make the finals? I don't know.
He did. He made the second round.
Let's go.
Ballard's going to clip that and show it to Jim.
Well, yeah, because did you hear what Schefter said yesterday, AJ, about what's happening in the Indianapolis Colts organization, why they've interviewed 45 people for the head coaching job? Allegedly, Ballard is bringing in a shiny new toy to Jim Irsay saying, really good football.
Pretty cool.
Players love him. And Jim's like, not Jeff Saturday. And then, all right, we're out. And then another, and Jim's like, please. All right. Rich Bisaccia, wait, before you say anything, play Rich Bisaccia, Aaron Rodgers clip. He goes, yeah. And Jim goes, I'll think about it. I will wait on this. That's what's happening in Indianapolis. Sorry for bringing up the elephant in the room. Woody Johnson led New York Jets team.
Yeah.
Sorry to bring up the elephant in the room. Hate to do that to you.
We know.
Hate to do it to you.
Bye-bye.
There's a team in Indianapolis, though, that also needs a quarterback and has a team ready to go. Now, there are a lot of things have to happen. Seems like Schefter has information on the other side.
Yes.
That is talking about them moving on to the Jordan Love era. If we're reading any of those reports accurately, Schefter dialed in 18, 20 years into business. He's talking about them trading him. Hey, they're moving on. Aaron, if he wants to come back, seems like a trade is a real option. There's going to be a lot of teams that are going to be interested. One of them's right here in Indy. I can't thank him enough for joining us live from Pebble Beach. He's going to win that thing, AJ. He going to win it?
It's weird. I think you get partnered with a pro, and then you have to use your handicap, and there's a cut. It's all weird.
Does he play enough to have a handicap? That's interesting.
I would assume so.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he has one. You got to, log it or however you do it.
But he doesn't play much, right? I think he's good.
No, but I think he's already had one. He's had
in
one
the past,
and it just carries over. I was a single digit.
I've never used it. I've never entered a score like that and done it.
So I was a single digit my first year in the league. I played every day. I played fucking 36 holes.
How did I ever have a bet with you? I've never broken 80, and I had to bet with you. That's crazy.
Dude, that's 15 years ago, bro. That's
so you still have it. It's like riding a bike, man.
It is not. You saw that. It is not like that at all. And I've never walked a course ever in my life. His handicap 4.6. It's like, is that from 5 years ago? 6 years ago? Because this dude.
Wow.
2022.
Wisconsin State Golf Association. Remember?
That's insane.
If he pays for the country club,
that's right,
he's staying. And if he pays the person cleaning his house, he's staying.
Interesting, he was in Nashville with all his friends who live there.
Did you know everybody lives there? I guess we found that out last year whenever he bought the raw land down there. That's a rumor he said I heard. So he didn't confirm more than I.
No.
Yeah. Shout to him.
A lot of people love it down there. That's why. Doesn't Kid Rock have his whole compound over there?
Goddamn right. Let's get to a break. Anytime
got gold toilets and showers, I heard.
Well, I've seen Master P's house.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Giving gold showers.
I think Kid Rock had similar dreams.
What does that mean, Con?
Maybe golden showers are happening. I mean, we don't know. People are into stuff.
Yeah.
The word
That's a weird one.
The word golden shower made it into a speech that I gave at a wedding.
Nice.
Believe it or not.
What was the reception like?
It was good. I mean, it was it was good.
What did you say? Hey, no more golden showers for Janice.
No, you've heard me talk before. The way I work, the way I work things in, always pretty, pretty good. It wasn't until about a sentence later that the back of the room it really caught. So then you hear a pop.
Yep.
And then we kind of dive right back into it. By the time it had settled in, what I just referenced, we were already into
gone.
These guys love each other so much.
So it took AQ's family a little longer to figure out the
I don't know if it was AQ's family or if it was somebody else's, but it was certainly it was a great speech. It was a great speech. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back on the other side with In the Trench. Were you there?
Is that right, AQ?
I've looked at it a couple
You
times.
saw the video, yeah. You saw the video. All right, we'll do In the Trenches on the other side. We'll also react. Yeah, look at this fucking guy. Look at this gorilla of a man, dude. Look at this guy.
I saw this earlier. This was so awesome.
Dude, he went back to Fight Club this week. You can tell it in his traps. Look at how good a shape you're in right now, Alan.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, guys.
How many concussions did you give, AQ? So many.
Oh, he didn't cut off the edge there.
No.
That's
all right.
What? He looks great.
I concur.
There's tats on your. I didn't know you had tats on your upper back like that. The shoulders too.
Fuck.
Oh yeah.
He was piecing them together. Now it's all kind of together, which is good. But there was a time where it just looked like graffiti on his fucking body.
Love that.
He's like, it's all going to come together.
It's all going to come together.
It's all going to come together.
It did.
He's got great art.
Great art.
Career mural.
That's right. Life mural.
Good job.
We need that In the Trenches in that because we're doing that on the other side of this break. Plus reacting to Aaron reacting to our questions to Aaron. Ladies and gentlemen, be a friend. Tell a friend we're back on the other side. Take 5.
Bye.
Hey, we're up to something big. Hey, we're up to something big, AJ. We are up to something. This is the coolest moment of the history of my existence. I think people are going to be startled. It's a joke, and I can't thank everybody enough, honestly. I'm up to something. Today's a big time day. Let's go. Not only are we going back to Plum to do something cool, but today is the day that our heater horse has arrived for the Super Bowl. It's a pretty big deal. Whenever you get a chance to give back to where you're from, especially a place that helped create me and mold me, I'm very, very lucky to do it. I'm lucky to be from here, and it seems like the only smart thing to do would be give back.
What's doing, Mark? It stinks here, huh?
What's up, Kennywood, dude? Kennywood is named after Kenny's Woods. A man named Kenny owned the hill in the woody area. They turned it into an amusement park, which is a Yinzer staple. So Jeezy actually shouts out this area we are in currently. I think life can be much simpler whenever you just take care of your people, enjoy your life, and do your thing, and that's all we're trying to do. Growing old, slowly dying. How about you? How's everybody? I'm gonna give a full lead up to how I got to where I'm at. I think I'm very lucky to be from here. If you're a kid that has walked through these halls, you understand something that not a lot of people do. I think Plum is a much different place than everywhere else. And there's Nick up there. Go look at Nick, how pissed off he is. This past summer, I was driving through here because I was here for an event, and Angelo Bolino, little blonde-haired kid, was kicking on the same field that I used to kick on as a child. And he had like 2 balls and a holder. And I was watching him kick, and then he would go shag for himself, and then he would come back and kick. And the easy question is, if he had 10 balls, how much better could Angelo Bolino be? If I would have been able to have 10 balls, 15 balls, new cleats, new everything, chances to go to camps with my teammates and everything, what could have happened? So I said to myself, literally after meeting with Angelo, great season by the way, dude. I said if I ever get a chance, I'm gonna try to take care of the potential humans and kids that were in my exact position in Plum. I'm gonna give $200,000 to the Plum area soccer. I'm gonna give $150,000 to the PMFA youth football. I'm gonna give $100,000 to the baseball youth. I'm gonna give $100,000 to the lacrosse. And then we're gonna have $2 million in this fund that'll just start. And hopefully it'll only go on from there. Sweet stuff for sports. Just anything to make everybody's, the teams and the players' lives easier, better. Trying to streamline the entire process of taking care of the athletes at Plum High School is kind of what it's all about.
Hey, you too. Wow, dude, that was cool.
All right, Narati, like the Indy. You're going to have a lot of people that have never accomplished anything in their life tell you that what you're thinking about doing isn't possible. Just because they don't think they could accomplish it doesn't mean anything to you. Cheers, everybody. Hey, we're all Mustangs here. Let's go. Obviously, this is a conversation starter for everybody when they're talking about the dynasty, and there's still Raiders fans that are pissed off about this. Here's the game plan. Go out there in the middle of a snowstorm and make a kick that you're not supposed to make at all from 45 yards.
This is the Patriots season on the line.
Do you remember this moment right here in your head? Were you scared to death? Were you fucking pumped?
I would say I was probably more scared to death as I'm watching the Tuck Rule review and realizing, holy shit, we get the ball back. Oh, yeah, by the way, it's coming all down to you, man.
This will be a 45-yard attempt. That's Vinatieri's luck from this distance of late.
Once I got out on the field, I really had three thoughts. First and foremost, try to attack the ball, but stay light on your feet. Just like anybody, you're running on ice. If your cleats don't stick, you're falling on the ground, and then the ball's going to end up hitting your center right in the back of the head. I wasn't thinking about missing 4 of the last 5, if that's truly what was going on. For me, it was all about, hey, you know, these guys aren't going to be able to get a good rush, get it straight and get it above the line of scrimmage. And thank goodness, as it left and I saw that they didn't block it, then it was all about, I don't know if it's going to have enough distance in this snow, you know, let's hope for the best. And I really didn't know until the referees at the back of the end zone raised their hands. I couldn't really see it. Couldn't tell if it was good or not.
Hell yeah, because it's a snow globe. What a kick. What a moment. Obviously, that would go on to launch a dynasty that the NFL will never see again or before. What a kick. What a moment. Here's an overtime. You got to make another one.
Substantially easier kick. Not just because of the distance, but we called a timeout. We cleaned a bunch of ground. This is the one time that a coach actually icing me probably benefited us, right? Because it gave my offensive lineman with the big size 16 cleats to get out there and move a little bit more ground. And, you know, not to say a game winner's ever easy, but this one compared to the one quarter before that was substantially different.
So you're coming out here sighing a little bit of relief. Oh, thank God. I can see the ground. I'm not going to fall.
Right.
We've already done this.
Exactly.
This is no problem.
Tied.
And then you murder that ball dead center. And then obviously in the Super Bowl, you have like a 49-yarder that you hit at the top of the upright. Couldn't have been a better ball, I don't think. You hit it cleaner. You have something inside of you, okay, that not a lot of people have. And Joe Burrow seemingly is a guy that has it. What is that?
I would love to tell you that I was born with or I developed the ability to, you know, be a clutch under pressure. I do think that there's certain people that are born with the want or the ability to say, Michael Jordan, you know, Tiger Woods, Mariano Rivera. These guys are, and ladies, are the type of people that go, I want the game coming down to me. I want to be the reason, LeBron, you know, I want to be the reason why we win or lose. I was kind of that same person, you know, playing soccer as center midfield, and in baseball, I either wanted to pitch or catch. I'd leave it there. I know what you're thinking. Knock it off. I know you. Anyway, but I always wanted to, you know, be in the middle of the game and be the reason why. So once I get to football, obviously 59 minutes of the game, I'm standing on the sideline, but I guess this is the one opportunity that I can put exclamation on the game or the icing on the cake or whatever you want to do.
What are you going to do to change and make Tua better? Have you gotten into that? This is very early in the whole process, and you're shaking hands, kissing babies right now, and you're a 0-win head coach that everybody loves.
0 wins.
0 win. But what are you thinking about that for Tua? How do you make him better?
We're going to start with scoring more points than the opponent.
Wow!
Holy shit.
Oh, no.
You are changing the game.
Changing the game.
Yeah.
Through math.
Yeah, that's right.
No, I think there's... I was just so fortunate in my career to be around the process of how I look at things with the empowerment of the right teachers that I look backwards, forwards, okay? What things do I see that are really awesome about his game on tape, even though we're at...
He's accurate as hey.
Boom! That's what I was just about to say.
Oh, I didn't know. I was just... you were leading me. That's how, you should do this, maybe.
Dude,
think about it in the future.
Dude.
But he's so accurate.
Or we should just spend the time finishing each other's...
sentences.
Oh, okay.
Hey, have we known each other for...
our whole lives?
Oh, my God. You tell...
me?
Wow.
This is
weird.
Dude.
Whoa,
Seems like you guys just became.
Dude.
Wow, this is fucking weird, AJ.
Bro.
Hey, this is...
Did we swap skins?
Wow, we learned a lot about yours, by the way. I mean,
Okay, so here's what I think. I don't know. I would love to ask him. I would love to ask what the scheme is.
Is this a read here on where the middle linebackers lined up right here? Are you able to shift this? Are they able to change this to the center pulling as opposed to the guard pulling with where the linebackers lined up there?
Yeah, that's why we wanted to be kind of in a spread formation right there, just try to put as much width to the formation as we could. And then ultimately the second part of that is being able to sell on a known passing down. I think that was the 2nd and 10, being able to sell drop back pass, the illusion of our drop back protection. And then ultimately what's going to be the best angle of departure for whoever's going to climb to the second level to try to block 57, because let's not forget who that down player is, whether it's 95, 98. The Jets have fantastic front. That the goal going into that game was to hopefully just not let them wreck the game, and sometimes that's easier said than done with those types of players. But anytime you can get Dalvin Cook in space with the football in his hands, whether it's 2nd and 10, 1st and 10, really doesn't matter. It's something we're trying to always do, and I got to continue to find ways to do that, but also don't want to miss an opportunity to credit our offensive staff. Some of the ideas that they come up with every week, it makes it fun calling plays.
That's seemingly unstoppable right there. Spread them out, so then you got Mosley kind of on an island right there. And if he lines up head up, we'll have this guy pull, and if he lines up off center, we'll have the center pull in there. That's an option that they can put in there. This modern NFL with all these rules, you're obviously a massive part of it. We need to start saying your name a lot more whenever we start talking about young offensive things. The guy that didn't even stop after just Deboing your head coach, well, let's get him the fuck out of the building. I mean, unless he just hates McVay, which we need to maybe look into a little bit more. I'm sure he wouldn't not know that happened. Maybe he was trying to get as far away from it as possible. But whenever he didn't stop, I thought to myself, whoa, are the Rams?
What the hell's going on here?
What's going on with the Rams?
Oh, they're dead.
That's the head coach who just got blown up and nobody even stopped to see if he was okay, aside from a couple coaches. The guy that hit him just keeps on fucking jogging on the field, not even oh my God.
Yeah, I'm so sorry.
Not even one of those guys.
He couldn't have known. He couldn't have known it was the head coach.
If that happens on the field, they're pulling Sean into the blue tent. Hey, are you sure you're okay? I mean, you didn't fall, you didn't drop the ball. You just got hit right on the button that we're talking about. Sean McVay eats it, spits it out, puts the headset back on. Thought his commentating career was in jeopardy.
Sure.
He's allegedly been offered $15 to $20 million to go into the booth, which I think we're going to see a lot sooner than later with how this whole Rams thing is going. Bounces back, calls the rest of the game. Now they lose. They are not good, but he's a tough son of a bitch. I think we all need to start recognizing that a little bit more about McVay.
Can you imagine how fucking sore he is today? He's eating out of a straw for the next week.
Welcome back to the Pat McAfee Show on Aaron Rodgers Tuesday, January 31st.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Today's show is presented by Bud Light.
Wide.
Easy to drink.
Wide.
Easy to enjoy.
Wide.
Bud Light.
Wide.
Is the official beer of the Pat McAfee Show. This is your last reminder that Bud Light is giving away beer money every single day leading up to the big game.
Hell yeah, Bud Light.
You can reply to this video on Twitter or tweet at Pat McAfee Show with the hashtag EasyToEnjoy, as EasyToEnjoy.
Got it.
The hashtag sweepstakes and your cash tag for some chance to score some cash.
Hell
yeah. It's hard to bring home the Lombo, boys. But it's very easy to enjoy Bud Light.
Yes.
Thank you, Bud Light.
Thank you, Bud Light.
Bud Light.
I also heard that they will stop spamming everybody that does enter.
The free cooler?
With the sign up for a free cooler thing.
Okay, nice.
That's good.
Sweet.
That's good news. Giving away
I'd like
beer
a free
money.
cooler.
Yeah, well,
I'll take a free cooler.
you got to sign up. There's like a full. It was interesting.
Okay.
They were just
Y'all got to sign
auto
up.
reply to every single tweet. They're giving away beer money on Cash App. Shout out to Bud Light. We appreciate the hell out of Bud Light.
Thank you, Bud Light. Wide.
We also appreciate the hell out of this man who's about to break down the big boys of football. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the championship rounds episode of In the Trenches with A.Q. Shipley.
Very disappointing by these guys.
Oh,
I was saying,
you're chosen.
we lose the quarterback early, but guess what? We get an awesome design. Now we get a miss. Now check this out. The guy that makes this kind of play very interesting for Christian. Christian has to make somebody miss, right? We don't want it to be him. We want it to be someone else. But when we get this, we get the wham. Check out the concept. I'm going to miss breaking these guys down because, man, the concept is awesome. Watch what it does to both linebackers when we get him pulling behind and him pulling behind. So we're going to get him up to there, And then this is what we call the wham, right? Kittle has to block here. You can block this a million different ways, but what they do is they get the triple whammy, if you get what I'm saying. We get one wham here, wham there, and then we get Big Trent up there, we get the center up there. This guy is supposed to be blocked by him, but it fucks everything up by him coming on in there. Now watch. Fletcher Cox thinks we got him. Nope. Kittle's going to ear hole. There it is.
Sorry, Fletch.
Same thing here. Goes behind. Look what it did to the linebackers. It sets up the blocks. If we rewind that, once we see this guy pull behind and this guy pull behind, watch. Boom, boom. Look at that. Now it just sets up the blocks for Big Trent in the center. And then Christian makes him miss, him miss, him miss, him miss. See ya.
Let's go, McAfee.
We're going to miss watching these guys.
Yeah, we are going to miss watching them.
They'll be back, right?
They'll be back. They'll be back.
The scheme's too good for them not to lose or not to win.
It's so good, and like even again, we can't talk about it because they got their asses beat. But man, even some of the schemes they had designed for Philly, it was awesome. They had some really good stuff in the game plan early. Some really cool things. Some really good wrinkles on some other stuff. I wish I could have been able to highlight. Can't do it, but
I mean that's fucking so much.
Perfect. McGlinchey's the only free agent, right?
Yep. On the whole group, really. Back. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, how good is that though?
What a run!
Unbelievable.
Again, it's the same thing we talked about. We heard Kittle talk about it last week. They're just putting people in position to succeed, and they constantly do it. We get everybody working this way, and now look how easy it makes Trent's block. Look how easy it makes Center's block. Boom. We don't even got to block him. Don't even got to block him. Banks, he's just got a seal on the backside.
Making it easier for Trent.
Yeah, could have done. They needed 7 more of those. Go ahead.
That's a beautiful play design, but I mean, Philly had him for no gain, but Christian is just that good, making dudes miss in the hole and breaking every tackle on the field, I feel like.
He was so good. I mean, God, what a difference maker he was for them this year. Unbelievable.
Wonder where he'll play next year too. Also a free agent.
Is he?
Yeah.
He might get paid again, huh?
He might be the top running back and wide receiver.
They are not
free
making
agent.
that trade and letting him walk out that building. I promise.
Oh!
Hey,
you know football.
Hey, the next 6 plays, Philadelphia Eagles, boys.
Whoa! Johns. Look at these Johns.
Fly, Eagles, fly, huh?
Fly.
Eagles fly on a road to victory. Fly, Eagles, fly.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Nailed it.
All right, so check it out. AJ, talk about this a little bit because his gap is here, correct? He's got to play this A gap. Now watch what this guy does to affect him this entire game. You're going to see it on this entire segment. Just the ability of the RPO and the quarterback run sends him back here, doesn't get to his gap because he has to play that, and then you get 600 pounds to here, 600 pounds to here. This play started on the 7. Watch where they fucking end up. At the goal line. Watch where they end up. At the goal line. Goddard hangs on for dear life, but does just enough to get it underneath, and then you get the
big gaping hole.
Look at that.
Hell yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Is that a playoff big gaping hole? Because we've seen some big gaping holes.
We have, but that's a playoff. That's big. I mean, everything shrinks down a little bit in the playoffs. That's a huge hole in the playoffs. Huge hole.
In the red zone, too. I mean,
in the red zone.
There was another play where it looked like Fred Warner's controller died on one of these read options.
Yeah, we'll see it.
Yep.
It's on here.
AQ, real quick, if Fred Warner came and he stood up in that A gap right in front of him pre-snap, would they get out of this, or would Jalen be like, this be a guaranteed pull, or what?
No, it's still same thing because really, with him out here, it's still we're treating this as 6 blocks, right? Same thing. It would just speed up this block. Now they can't hang as long as they would, but this guy predicates how quick they get off. I mean, it'd be the same thing. Now, if he was up there, it would just be go. We still have a great play. We're still 6 for 6. Keep him the widest. Who gives a shit about him? Don't worry about him.
Family. Good luck stopping it.
Can't do
No
it.
chance.
Can't do
no
it.
shot beating that.
Can't do it.
All right.
Oh, he's dancing with the bird.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. Gotta love this. Can we get a little highlight on Mr. Kelsey here? Can we get a little highlight on him?
Yeah, you're goddamn right.
I don't know if we can get, I don't know if this is calibrated, but can we find out when he snaps his hip how far he goes over? Wait till you guys see this shit. Again, inside zone weak. Same fucking play. Now watch Fred Warner. Stuck in concrete.
Oh, yeah, he's the one.
Stuck in concrete. He just stays there because he's got to play Jalen. He's got to play the RPO. He's reading that whole thing out. And instead of him being fast to go, now check this out. Check out the eyes by Lane Johnson. He becomes the new backer. They're originally slipping to him. But when he comes here and he stays back, this becomes the new guy they sleep. to slip to. Now watch Lane Johnson come back and just stonewall Hufanga here. This is incredible.
With a torn groin.
Boom. Stonewalls. Let's go back a little bit here. Watch Kelsey snap the hip. Watch him hit the hip. The hip is key. You hit the hip, people fucking fly. It's unbelievable.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Oh, jeez.
Raw power.
I mean, how good is that?
Kelsey power.
Fred's got
Guy
cement in
got
his
tossed.
skates.
That a big enough hole?
Yeah, I'd say.
That a big enough hole? When Kelsey there, go from there to there. You got 10 yards to run through.
Jeez Louise, unstoppable.
So even with Ebekum sitting behind there on the end, Fred Warner still has to stay to...
Absolutely, because he's got double responsibility, and that's where the running quarterback really gets. He's got double responsibility to handle him. He's also got double responsibility on the RPO. Now, check it out. Same play.
Hold on, shouldn't we have somebody else spying Jalen than Fred Warner?
Yeah.
Typically, the way that they were doing it, and if you watched them the whole first half, it's the same way they played us when I was in Arizona with Kyler, to handle the zone read. It's really the only way to really do it and affect everything. You saw it early. You saw Bosa crashing to the junction point, the junction point being where they're getting the handoff, right? So that's how they played it the whole first half, and they played it perfectly for a while. You're going to see the play later where Bosa kind of gets a little nosy, sticks his head inside, and then they get outside.
Boston Scott.
But boom, he goes and handles the junction point, and then Fred's ready to scrape over the top, which, if you guys remember the play down on the goal line, they ran it, and Bosa and everybody blew it up. That's what they're trying to do.
Fred's out of the play, though, AJ. He's the best player on the field.
Yeah, it really puts you in a predicament and when playing this Philadelphia offense, man. I don't know. I'm curious to see what the Chiefs' plan will be, because obviously they have time, and they're going to have you're going to have solid rules on how we're going to play certain plays.
Yeah. That's tough. It puts them in a predicament on every single play. The best football player on the defensive side of the field is him, and he was in a predicament the entire game. Check this out. Here's a little wrinkle. Gotta love this. Same exact play. We've just watched 2 plays in a row, except the 2 plays in a row before, we have a 3 technique to the play side, so Kelsey's allowed to go, and it's full zone. Boom, boom, boom. Now we get the 2-eye. How are we going to add a little wrinkle to this? We're going to cut the defense right now. Widen him. Get here. Get your best player in space. Out in space. Now watch this. We get Kelsey pulling around. We're still getting the slip block on the backside. Again, Fred Warner stuck in fucking concrete again.
Man.
Can't be fast to go. Now look at Kelsey around. Boom. There's the hole.
Walk in.
I mean, how fucking good is this? It's unstoppable.
So Sirianni, a fucking offensive genius.
It's just what he's been able to do with Jalen is unbelievable, because the defenses have to account for him. They have to account for the RPO. You're constantly getting this, which is 6 in the box. 6 in the box will let them run every time. Really, put an X over him. 5 in the box, because he can't make his mind up. You can hand this ball off all day long, and you got numbers front side. Or, now he's fast to go, you get this out the backside, or you get the RPO hitting the slant right there.
So is there a way to beat it? Do they just blitz? Is that the easiest way? What is the...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, nobody's been able to stop it this year. I mean,
or though, AQ, couldn't you say, okay, Bosa, the unblocked guy, hey, hats on you. You have to take Jalen so Fred can roll.
Yeah, that's it, man. You got to. But then he's slow to go, then, right? And then you get him thinking, okay, let's get up the field to stop Hurts, and here's the huge backside cut right there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It puts everybody in a predicament.
Penetration kills everything. That's the only possibility.
Yeah,
really,
zone read. That's always been the winner. Is penetration at D-line.
And their interior is just too good.
How many people have been able to penetrate that offensive line?
Oh, nobody's penetrating.
Nobody.
Not getting penetrated.
How about this guy?
That guy can penetrate him.
That's penetrating. He's a good shot.
Yeah,
it's a good shot. This one's tough to stop here because this is what Fred's worried about.
This is exactly. So check this out. Now this is the perfect call into this because he becomes a blocker in this. We're getting the quarterback draw this side. We've talked about this all year long, which I absolutely love this. We saw the Minnesota Vikings do this. We saw the Philadelphia Eagles do this a lot this year. And what that is get him basically making a decision. So Jason's going to get back off the ball, and we're basically going to man everybody else. Man, 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 man. But with the 2-eye here, 2-eye meaning inside shoulder this guard, we're able to get him cracked and already sealed, okay? So Dickerson's going to come down. Boom, we get the crack right there. Now that sets up the seal. Once we get that, now Kelsey's going to pull around. Now check this out. They get movement here. He slants because we're getting the safety off the edge. So now if Hufanga would have come underneath here, it might have changed the whole difference of the play. But he stays wide, makes an easy block for him. Now, Kelsey's able to read this whole thing out, get around, and just be the lead blocker on this draw. It's awesome. Look at this.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
I mean, how good is that?
That's big.
Perfect play call.
Perfect play call
at the right time.
At the right time, exactly.
Yeah, that luck here, or he knows that they're
It's
going
a
to
little bit of luck. That's a little bit of
think?
luck. Yeah.
All right, so you're
Because same thing, like I said, if Hufanga comes underneath there, that play gets blown up.
Lucky
He's
thing.
got to be smart and lucky.
Yeah, the
Could be
teams
smart
that
and
win the
lucky.
Super Bowl get that good luck.
That's it. That's it. And look at this. On the backside, best linebacker in football. He's in coverage.
He doesn't even know.
He's in coverage with his back turned to the play.
He's got no idea.
Because look, the offensive line's giving you a
Fred.
pass read other than Kelsey.
Exactly. And even him, with him setting back, initially tells them pass.
He did this against
I'm
the
going
Colts
right to
to
my
win the game.
coverage. Gosh.
He did this Colts.
Yep.
Because these guys, linebackers, they're all reading the offensive line on if it's a pass or a run. They all pass set. It's a pass.
That's a pass.
Pass. That's what somebody's saying.
Yep.
Pass.
The Broncos
Pass
sideline.
draw.
Yeah.
You're thinking pass draw no matter what.
And then, boom, we're out the gate.
They did
See you
that
later.
to beat the Bears, too.
I mean, look at Kelsey in space. Do you guys understand how freaking hard that is? AJ, talk about how many times you've made an offensive lineman miss out in space like this.
It's impossible. That's why I've always said, like, guys like Kelsey are so difficult to play. Like, look how quick and fast this dude is. In like centers like that are Kelsey's size always gave me the most problems because they're 20 yards down the field and they'll never let you go. So he's so good.
It's incredible.
Runaway locomotive.
There's about to be more from old Kelsey right now.
Yeah.
Ooh. There's more.
Little Kelsey highlight tape here. Here's the one. This is the one I'm talking about.
Hey, is this the best year a center has ever had?
He's having an incredible year. I mean, this is probably, and it's interesting because they were talking about him retiring last year. This is probably his best year of his entire career.
Wow.
He's playing better in year 13 or 14, whatever he's in right now, than he did in year 1 and 2. It's
You
incredible.
think it's because of the podcast or what? New Heights?
Oh, it might be.
Made
Blowing
new
up.
diet.
But this is the thing, right? Early in the game, we saw him getting up the field, and now he gets a little nosy here. We get on here, and look at Kelsey. Target's already locked. Look at him being patient.
Oh,
and then he's going to do my favorite move, the one where you put the arms down, you leave your feet, and you missile. There it is. Look at that. You stop it. Both feet are in midair. Look at that.
Jungle,
Whoa.
Nick.
Look at that. Both feet in midair.
Jeez, Kelsey.
Good God.
Do you think Nick went the Joey route and after they lost was like, it's okay, I'm rich?
To Kelsey?
Well, Joey flew on commercial too immediately afterwards of sleeping in the Philly plane, or in the airport, which, you're going to get got when you're sleeping in public after telling people you're rich.
Bingo.
That's going to happen. Planes are expensive, though. Gas is absurd. I understand exactly why he's doing it, being frugal with his money. That's smart. That's why people remain rich.
Smart.
Lives in L.A. too.
It's a long way.
Yeah.
way.
That's very expensive. It's like $75,000 probably.
I mean, how good is Jason
Yeah, but
Kelsey
he's
feeling
rich.
right here?
He's rich.
Look at this. Look at this little creep up move.
Boom! Defensive player of the year, nonetheless.
Defensive player of the year. Oh, I think the next play involves the defensive player of the year as well.
No. More?
Hey, what do we got here? Low on balance.
Overload!
Little unbalanced.
Holding, maybe?
Little unbalanced. They're trying to get the throwback over here. 94 does a phenomenal job kind of reading this out.
Ooh.
And then, ooh. And keep this thing moving, but we're going to watch Mailata on Bosa. Mailata, by the way, unbelievable year run blocking. Him and Dickerson have been a huge key to this run game.
And singing.
And
Yeah.
Great year.
No.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Wait.
Look,
Hands are
not a
inside.
hold. Not a hold, right? We heard Gene. Hands are inside.
You're getting dominated is what Gene said.
Oh, there it is.
He lays on him, too.
Jesus.
She had her calf.
Yeah, because of cleat.
Yeah. Not Blake.
AQ, do you know how good does it feel if you're no lineman and you have that right before he dumps him when you know, I got him, I can definitely take this guy down.
Listen, you feel it. There's so many times where you get a guy running and you feel him a little off balance and you know that one little torque is going to send him over. It's the best feeling in the world.
He's like a teeter-totter there on the top.
That's it.
Yeah.
Bosa's a dog, though, too. So is Mailata, it sounds like.
Unbelievable.
You got Trent Williams' big bump on here?
Do you guys understand how strong you have to be to pick up a human and slam him?
From the back there?
Yeah.
Yeah, people were saying, well, he wasn't even looking. It's like, well, nobody jumped on top of Trent afterwards either.
Yeah.
There was a lot of, whoa,
Easy.
Trent, whoa.
Hey, let's calm down. What's
AJ,
happening?
what are you doing there? You throwing a big right if he does that to one of your teammates? I think you have to, don't you?
I mean, I'm probably acting like I didn't see it, most likely. If Trent Williams does that to my teammate. I'm going to go talk to the ref or maybe grab some other guy that's not really doing it. Look, nobody goes. I mean, they kind of do, and then they're like, oh, wait, that was Trent. No.
Yeah, all right. Trent,
quick back away.
By the way, Trent he should feel good about everything. I mean, granted, being able to do that to another professional athlete is awesome. I wish I had that power. Brendan Graham kind of got in his face a little bit, but didn't want to, it's 31-7, fourth quarter. Let's not get stupid here. We got a game coming. And also that is Trent. But I think Trent should look in the mirror sometime and say, everybody on earth that is in the football world knows that I'm the biggest dog in the yard. That has to feel pretty good. Hey, congrats, Trent.
Congrats, Trent. You did it.
Congrats, Trent. That's pretty good. And he tips plays. Obviously, we learned that earlier in the year. Yeah. He's a fucking dog. They're all back, huh? You think the Niners are going to fall off or no?
Trent's there for 5 more years. I think he just signed a 6-year deal.
Congrats to him getting that bag. He deserves it.
Go, Trent. And he got like $10,000 more just to.
Then Bakhtiari.
Just to be the highest paid.
Real quick, how many yards did the Chiefs and the Bengals rush for? How come they weren't a part of in the trenches?
Yeah, so it was tough. It was tough sledding trying to find that. I think combined, the Chiefs had maybe 37 yards. The Bengals had 20-something yards. So
who wins the Super Bowl?
Philadelphia Eagles.
Hell yeah.
Lean on the big boys.
Because of that.
Lean on the big boys.
Because offensive lines can travel, they say. In the biggest moments, if you have the ability to move bodies, you'll be able to do it. It doesn't matter the situation.
That's it. I mean, the only chance they got, like I said earlier, is Mahomes got to have a superhuman day. Chris Jones, obviously a stud, but
possible.
I think they'll be able to handle it.
All right, we appreciate you, ladies and gentlemen.
That
was a great episode.
Hell yeah, let's go.
A lot of Philadelphia Eagles, a lot of Johns out there. Talking to a lot of Johns. AJ, we did a giveaway earlier. Think we should do another one because of how good AQ just did in the trenches, or should we get out of here on a high note?
Are you bringing someone from the back room to do anything, or who's going to do it?
No, that's only Fridays. Remember, that's a Friday thing, not a Tuesday thing.
I think AQ can hit putts. He can make putts.
Yeah, especially because Aaron came live from Pebble Beach.
True.
Yeah.
We did have a little golf flair here.
Yeah.
If AQ Shipley can go 2 of 5 here on this putting green after an incredible in the trenches.
That baby
Come on,
AQ.
If you can go 2 of 5 here on the putting green, we'll give 15 more people.
Wow.
$500. Who retweet this tweet, say something nice to somebody, and put their cash tag in there so we can pay you officially on Cash App. AQ Shipley has a putting green in his backyard. Has not been that efficient on said putting green here.
Have been recently.
Yeah, because of that little speck.
Anything to say, AJ Hawk?
2 of 5. He might make 5 of 5. Honestly.
If he does that, we'll go 20 people.
Boom.
Got to make the first one to do that, AQ.
Alan Quay Shipley.
He doesn't change his grip. AQ, you don't change your grip, do you?
One of them.
Yep.
Oh.
Holy hell.
Putting's become automatic.
Yeah, because the green has been figured out. Tim McAfee got his ruler and his, what's that thing called? The balance thing?
I missed it.
Construction thing? I forgot.
A level. Got his level out, found the spot, beat the game, but AQ's only 1 of 2.
True.
There's only 15 winners that are going to be possible, not 20 because AQ missed one. All he's got to do is make one more putt, and there it is. AQ Shipley, another $15, $500 winners who retweet this tweet, say something nice to somebody, and put their cash tag in there so we can pay you officially on Cash App. Great putt in AQ. Great in the trenches.
What a day.
Great work, Toxic Table. Great work, Tony Diggs.
Thank you, Pat.
Hammer
Dahn
is in about 15 minutes at youtube.com/Hammer.
Dahn.
All the boys in the back, incredible work on this Aaron Rodgers Tuesday.
Hell yeah.
We're already through January, okay? Let's enjoy this life. We got the Pro Bowl this weekend. A lot of people opting out, people opting in. It'll be a blast. I'll be on the call on Sunday. Big shout out to Rapoport for stopping by, Gene Steratore, and Aaron Rodgers. You are the best humans on earth. AJ, great work today, pal.
You too, guys. Can't wait to see you tomorrow.
Hell yeah. We'll see you all tomorrow. Say something nice to somebody. Goodbye.